Hello, everyone. Welcome to Adventurers Wanted, and welcome to our new 12-week campaign, Icewind Dale, Corrupted. Lovely to see you all, and thank you for joining us for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. We're thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/DND and twitch.tv/AdventurersWanted. So, what are we doing? If you happen to have stumbled upon this channel by accident or don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, for your information, we are all playing fantasy characters in a shared fantasy universe. The people all around me have character sheets in front of them with information about what they can do and who they are, and 9 times out of 10, whenever I ask them to do something, they'll be rolling a 20-sided dice, which is one of these, probably out of focus. Those 20-sided dice allow them to find out how well they have achieved something. A natural 20 is absolutely brilliant, and a natural 1 is a critical failure. So with that random element thrown in, apart from the performance and roleplay styles of everyone around me, we will be telling our story together. I don't play one character, I play many characters. Everyone they encounter, all of the non-player characters, that's me, all of the snowy ice storms, all of the monsters, I play all of them. So I will be in the middle refereeing with everyone else as we go along. So with that in mind, this is a new campaign. We're starting from a new point, so you don't know anything about what you're about to see, which is great. We get to share with you an exciting new world based on the new D&D book just announced as part of D&D Live relatively recently. So do join us as we delve into the Icewind Dale a little bit in our own special way and see what stories we can uncover. So I'm Chris, I use he and they pronouns, and I'll pass around the room just so everyone can introduce themselves. They won't do their characters today, they will in every subsequent episode of the show, which will go for 12 weeks. They will be introing themselves and their characters, but for now, let's meet them as part of the story. So just going around, starting with Red, would you mind giving your name and your pronouns?
Hi, I'm Red, and I'll use he, him.
Thank you. George?
Hello, I am George, and I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Emma, I'm gender fluid, but I'm using she, her pronouns today.
Thank you. Poe?
Hi, I'm Poe, and I use they, them pronouns.
Thank you. And Rebecca?
Hi, I'm Rebecca, I use she, her pronouns.
Thanks, everyone. Good stuff. So, just some AOB before we dive in. This stream runs for 3 hours, so we'll be playing until different times in different time zones, but 3 hours. And there'll be a break about an hour and a half in. It's all improvised, so hard to know where the break will come, but we'll try and make sure there's a bathroom break somewhere near the middle. We have sponsors. We're delighted to be sponsored by D&D Beyond and by Ultra Pro. D&D Beyond are the premier compendium of digital D&D rules online. They have many things available there, including all of the book adventures you can purchase. You can roll dice with their new dice rolling. It's in alpha now, I believe. Is it in beta? It's around. You can definitely use that if you're a subscriber to their site, and it also gives you, most importantly, the ability to create characters and digital character sheets, which is incredibly useful for all of our players here today who are all using that service, which you can probably see in the overlay. I don't know what side it's on, either this side or that side of the screen. If you look at your screen, one side of it has a Beyond overlay, so do click on the character portraits there to see more about them as we dive into the rest of the story. We're also sponsored by Ultra Pro. They are tabletop organizers, so they provide you with dice bags, card wallets, character sheet wallets if you need that sort of thing. A lovely selection of paraphernalia to help you make your game run smoother, so do check them out. Didn't mention the link. For D&D Beyond, it's dndbeyond.link/adventurerswanted, and for Ultra Pro, it's ultrapro.com. So do check those both out. Couldn't do anything we do without them. We are using a variety of safety tools in today's game to make sure the gaming table and online digital space is safe for our players and for our audience as well. We will be using various verbal cues such as lines and veils, and we also all have pause cards. Everyone flash your pause cards. There we go. Thank you. And those pause cards will allow us to pause proceedings if we need to check in with each other, and we'll try and keep those in so you can all see that pause card in use so you get a better sense of how that can be used in your own games as well. And more information on these can be found on our website, adventurerswanted.co.uk. We are also trans positive. We play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. We encourage and champion trans players and characters in our games. And while the DM and players may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own, we aim to avoid misgendering. We do appreciate it does sometimes happen, and if we miss an instance, do let us know. Otherwise, we'll be correcting each other as part of the stream if necessary. Grand. That's all of my business. Everyone ready for our diving into our first First foray into the Icewind Dale.
Very much so.
Must feel chilly.
So it's the height of summer in the UK at the moment, so it's warm. We're all pretending to be cold to make this work. Cool. Without further ado. Snowy wastes of the Icewind Dale, a blanketed tundra of snow and cold and damp and sleet have been part of the environs up here in the very north of the Sword Coast, beyond the spine of the world, a mountain range that separates the Icewind Dale from the rest of Faerun. This small, isolated community of various different people that live together and share their lives is primarily focused on survival, as you would expect, focused on the ability to grow what little crops they can, fish what little they can get out of the lakes that surround the 10 towns, the 10 small, all working as one institution known as 10 towns, but 10 smaller communities that all work together to keep themselves and others alive up here. The people of these towns sometimes trade with other people that live around here. You've got various people living on the glacier nearby. You've also got various other communities that live further north and are much harder to access. But it's a hardy, rugged existence, and the people here eke out their lives as best they can. However, that process, that life, has changed dramatically in the course of the last 5 days. Over the course of the last 5 days, what used to be a relatively harsh, unforgiving seasonal pattern has changed completely. Where once there were anemic rays of sun breaking through the sky and the cloud cover, where once there used to be cold, dark nights, but always the promise of a new morn, a new day, some warmth to be gleaned, everything has changed. Perpetual night has fallen over the entirety of the Icewind Dale, plunging every community into darkness and worry. When will the sun rise again? Of the towns, the smaller communities, they are handling this situation in various ways, as you can read about in the book that's coming out in September. But we're not focusing on that. We're moving towards the glacier as described, the Reghead Glacier, a gigantic wall of ice slowly moving its way down the dale, making its way towards the sea in the west. Nestled inside the glacier, in a ravine known as the Howling Ravine, a camp of workers, explorers, investigators, miners, is in the middle of an excavation project. And as they try and dig deeper and deeper beneath the ice, looking for mystical lost cities and magical artifacts, we zoom in on the end of the ravine, an icy tunnel at the end of this sharp cut through the ice. And deep into that tunnel, we see a figure stumbling, running out of the tunnels, running towards Camp Howl, as it is semi-affectionately known by its denizens, desperately making their way out from under the glacier and looking for help. However, at this point in the camp, no one is aware of any problems at all. Apart from the fact that it's very, very, very cold. A perpetual blizzard has been raging for 5 days, and the sun hasn't risen, which is probably setting everyone slightly on edge at this point. Let's start with the person probably most desperate to get this situation under control. George, would you like to introduce Ash?
Yeah, that's fair. So Ashra Beckett, who goes by Ash to some people, and uses she, her pronouns, is the head of the encampment, in charge, certainly. That's certainly true. Running or managing the camp's presence here. She's a human. Is this a good place to describe?
Please do. Yeah, I'm imagining a sort of slow camera shot over Ash.
Yeah, just almost definitely at her desk right now. She's human. She's got quite pale skin, late 40s kind of time. Dressed in a kind of formal, stylish, which is slightly at odds with the harsh unpleasantness of the environment here. Although she has taken to wearing a large sort of cloak / cape to try and keep warm in and around her tent, which is probably insufficient by itself. Quite harsh featured, quite harsh edged personality. I think that's a good jumping off point.
And can you describe the inside of your tent where you are sat, what you are doing?
Oh yes, so this is on the ground floor of the tent. Of the several stories that it has. This is set up as a sort of office working space with probably a desk quite prominently, because it's both a functional desk and a place where she would hear sort of audiences from the members of the camp who have issues, or just meeting the various logistical people in charge of actually running the operations here. So it's down here quite functional. It's well appointed, definitely considering the effort taken to drag it all up here. There's also a spiral staircase, like a little sort of wrought iron spiral staircase on one side of the tent that goes up to a private space there. And she is attended to by, here at the moment, 4 members of the undead. A couple of skeletons, a couple of zombies who are dressed in, I don't know what the best equivalent of sort of business suits is, but they're doing clerical work at this point. So they're mostly responsible for holding and moving sort of files and various other bits and pieces, or dispatching messages, probably much to the discomfort of many people here.
Okay. With you at the desk, currently sat in a chair on the other side of it, slightly loosely, like there's a sense of just general relaxation and bonhomie, trying to create a sense of calm, casual conversation that I imagine Ash is rejecting wholeheartedly. I'm just assuming this, I don't know. Is sat a Loxodon, an elephantine humanoid. He's wearing sort of loose shirt. Again, probably not warm enough for this climate. Everything looks a little bit too relaxed. Shirt sleeves are rolled up, and he is sat talking to you, trying to get a sense of where you're at with some of the things they're about to discuss. Yeah, so, I mean, the food stores aren't great, not gonna lie. I reckon we're looking pretty close to running out next couple of days. Caravan's not come back from 10 towns. I imagine it's lost, I don't know, unless you got any magical insight you can share with me.
Nothing currently. I assure you, if I had discovered anything, I would have pointed it out already.
I mean, I know we've got people.
Report the situation is not good.
Yeah, I know we've got people in camp who can make food with your magics and stuff, and that's fine. But even that's not going to be enough to feed everyone, and you know it. I don't know how long we can stick it out. Whether we all need to tick up sticks and get the hell out of here.
Any reports on the condition of the pass? Has anyone returned from outside of the encampment?
Nah, I ain't heard hide nor hair outside of here for, 5 days now. You had any magical send-ins or stuff? Do you know what's going on in the wider world?
I've had no communication at this point. We can fairly assume it's a local problem, but no information yet. I will continue working on it.
Righto. Well, I guess I'll keep trying to keep morale up. Although I'm going to have to limit rations again.
I'll just make a little note on a piece of paper that I have in front of me, probably doing some of those calculations myself as well. Yes, we can stretch things further, but we should, as you say, be mindful of morale. People will not like it.
Nah. Well, I guess we've got enough people here who could help with that sort of thing if we need to. Garvanor, which is his name, slowly stands. He's friggin' huge. I mean, he's a Loxodon. He's an elephant humanoid. He's definitely like cresting 7 to 8 feet as he stands. Well, pleasure as always, Miss Beckett. I'll see you around.
I'll send you the numbers on the supplies. And yes, I expect a report from you later on.
Sure thing. Long live the Brotherhood or whatever. And stomps out
with similar enthusiasm at this point.
Stomps out of the tent and makes his way Across the camp, we get a wider shot of this two-story tent, which is in itself a very strange magical object, very clearly has a magical essence to it. And as he stomps his way across to a sort of wooden shack, it has an element of army-style bivouac around it, and also very clearly has been hewn into the side of this icy ravine, which the tent sits sort of largely in the middle of and blocks a lot of the pathway down the route of. There are other tents around that can be seen, a very sort of suffuse, dim torchlight that cuts through the entire space. As Governor walks out, is anyone potentially walking in to see Miss Beckett? Potentially not. It's fine if not. No. In which case, Governor is going to stomp across to his bivouac barracks, his space away from the rest to look after people as much as possible, which is politely and quietly known as the MASH unit. And as he steps inside, who's inside? This is a very smoky, dimly lit area. It's all of the smoke from various different fires and candles is clearly gathering slightly in this space. It does manage to leak out the front of the tent, but as it's dug back into the ice a little bit, it does tend to sit and linger in the air, giving the whole thing a very smoky, the Tibetan pub in the Indiana Jones movie vibe. Very closest, yeah.
This is the bar, right? This is the bar,
yeah.
Okay, Milk's in the bar.
What kind of time of day is it?
It is probably, since the caravan still hasn't returned, probably a morning check-in, so I'm going to say something like early morning.
So, like, in terms of, like, the duties that we would be doing in the camp, because some of us have actual, like, jobs here.
True.
What are we doing?
Well, one of the mining shifts is currently down in the tunnels, trying to make its way, looking for more things, more excavations being done. Those that protect, they will have some protective guardians with them to look after them, but none of you are there. The other shift of miners will either be resting, sleeping, getting ready for the day, having breakfast, chilling out. Otherwise, if there's any particular job to be doing, you're not on shift at the moment.
Okay.
Would you be in there?
Not in the morning.
Not in the morning.
Yeah.
In which case, as Governor steps inside, Red, you have said that Milk is in there. What does Governor see as he pulls aside the tent flap and sort of leans his bulk inside this space, which he's also slightly too big for?
So hunched over some pile of boxes sourced from somewhere is the tiefling known as Milk, who, visually speaking, is a traditional bright red devilish color, but with incredibly mottled skin, as though they've been splashed, I guess, with some kind of acid that has drained the color from them, which, generally speaking, notably across their face, has splashed across one of his eyes, and there are no longer an eye there, and instead there are three white blind eyes, which we might return to at some point. But at the moment, he is hunched over in conversation with an alien squid, whilst appearing to wear a white fluffy bathrobe and drink a mug of coffee that he has sourced from somewhere.
Cool.
Just,
right.
You know, as his glasses.
Oh, lovely. Excellent. What are you saying to your weird octopus? What's the conversation? Because your octopus is more, your octopus is telepathic, so you don't have to speak out loud if you don't want to.
Right. Perhaps there's just a sort of strange gesticulation in that case. Some kind of dialogue is taking place, but we can't really hear it. If you'd like to be party to it, I can tell you, but I'm not sure the Garvanor can hear. Let's
start. Yeah, let's have that conversation. Why not? What are you talking to Melinoe, your familiar, about?
Well, Melinoe is singing to the eggs that are in the eyes in Milk's face, from the eldritch god that has touched him. And Milk is, as usual, complaining that it is far too early to start with this nonsense. I have barely had my first coffee, and the sort of sound in response are kind of, oh, as the fronds kind of gently stroke at his face, and he's just resigned and sips his coffee.
Don't sing to my eye eggs before I've had my morning coffee.
Too much, darling, it's too much. Just, 5 minutes for Daddy. 5 minutes.
If you don't want me to do it, I could always try and remove them again.
No, they're fine where they are. No, let's just leave them in there for the time being. Keep them growing nice and strong, take over the world, etc., etc.
Yes, they need nutrition.
Yes, absolutely. We've been through that, but these are our friends, Melinoe. They are not food for the Eldritch gods. Yes, understood? Good.
Understood. Your octopus familiar Melinoe floats up, because Melinoe is a flying octopus, and sort of suckers and sticks her way onto your shoulder and side and just sits there. And there's still a delicate sort of hum underneath that is your constant telepathic companion.
Lovely.
Is anyone having coffee in the morning who could be there with milk, near milk? Ivy?
Ivy will possibly not be quite at the same table because that's the thing. But also they're about as different from milk as you can get. Ivy just is a bit nondescript. She's sitting, having breakfast, yawning after the night shift, and staring um, furrowed at a dragon chess set in front of her.
Who are you playing with?
She's going over the game she lost last night, trying to work out how to do it better next time.
Okay. As you're sat there, are you drinking a coffee as well, I presume, or something similar?
Yeah, sure.
As you're sat there sipping your coffee, roll me, actually, no, what's your passive perception?
That would be, low, 13.
That's not low.
I usually play druids. It's really low.
As you're sat there, just looking over, poring over this chess set, you get a faint cuff in the back of your head and a giggle and a hug from behind as you're, what is Aspen to you?
Sister-like figure.
As your sister-like figure hugs you from behind, and a figure from behind Ivy hugs, and you can see from looking at this figure and looking at Ivy, similar facial features, quite a lot of similarities that really sell the idea of sister. As Aspen gives you a hug from behind, morning, and comes and sits at the table with you. How are you?
Well, this is embarrassing. I really hoped that you wouldn't catch me doing this till I worked out how to beat you.
Well, that's what happens when your sister's good at chess. You just need to keep practicing.
Thanks, dear. If only you felt the same way about some other things.
Yeah, it's fine. When's our shift?
Later today. Is it 4:00?
Okay, yeah. Right, I'll go get some breakfast. Do you want anything?
Yes.
Good. Gets up and heads over to Garvanor, who is now bulked himself behind the sort of strange flat up wood bar towards the back of this space. And Aspen heads over and is going to start ordering breakfast and generally mucking about with Garvanor. They have quite a nice rapport. They get on quite well.
Ivy will just call over, bacon, please.
We've got a slight limitation coming in, a bit of rationing, just to be safe because of the darkness, making sure we've got enough to go round.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit of bacon, not a huge amount of bacon. You both all right with that?
Yeah, Aspen will give me hers, right?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. Definitely kidding.
Aspen looks back at you and goes, yeah, sure. And then goes back to ordering and getting things off Garvanor. Garvanor looks across. How about you, Milk? Do you want anything?
What is it? Is it just more bacon and frozen things? Any passion fruit, perhaps? Maybe.
What do you think I'm running here?
Right. No. Never mind, darling. It's fine. No, coffee's good for me. I'm good. Just coffee and fresh air.
Well, good luck for the fresh air. Is going to keep making. He's going to turn around and start preparing some food on a basic camping stove at the back, which is also it starts to get smokier in here from this breeze. Poe, while this is happening, I'm guessing Victor's probably still asleep.
That's what, yeah. That's what I figured.
Can you describe Victor at the moment, probably still asleep?
Victor is still kind of in that bit where you're basically asleep, but your body's now in the process of trying to wake you up, and he's fighting hard against it.
Mhm.
But in his kind of medic's shack that he's set up, which doesn't look as sophisticated as perhaps a medical shack should.
Mhm.
And also that medical shack is also Victor's shack. So his bed is in the corner next to a very, very large and probably unwise fireplace. Still completely fully dressed in like big heavy furs on top of his already quite thick furs, because Victor is a tabaxi, a Siberian cat type tabaxi, and a big hat pulled over his poor ears because they're very chilly. Yeah, but he is in the process of waking up and kind of instinctively checks outside to see, you know, if it's light out. It's like, oh, bugger, you know. But he's not too happy about that.
No, I can imagine. Okay. So Victor's just having that kind of slow morning cat stretch.
Big
just,
cat stretch.
Just getting up and into the day. Lovely. Right. Where can we find Prosperous?
So the food supplies have already started to be rationed.
Yes.
In that case, I am not eating it to make sure there's enough to go round.
Cool.
I will be eating the stuff that I brought with me slowly.
Okay.
In my tent.
Cool.
With probably new character, Kenna.
So are you and Kenna waking up in the tent? Did she stay the night?
I've probably been up early to go and do a recce of the pass to see if I could see any caravans.
Cool. Can you roll me a perception check, please? I think we'll probably do is start you off looking.
Sure. Prosperous is a half orc, blue grey skin, wearing full plate armor and carrying a scythe.
Yep.
A scythe which has the grass cutting handles as well as the long handle.
Yep.
Perception.
Yes, please.
That is a 17.
Cool. Moving out of the camp and moving away to the front, there are still a couple of torches lighting the ravine as it goes up at a slight incline and eventually becomes just this. There's an end of the ravine where one can walk directly into it. And normally, if you get to the end of the ravine and look out across the glacier, you are looking down the glacier's front into the Icewind Dale and can even in the distance just about see the sea all the way out to the west. But Prosperous, as you're sat there at the front looking out, a palisade fence empty and caravan tracks non-existent at this point. All of the animals that were being used to ferry things to and from 10 towns all gone in the lost caravan. You're looking out into the darkness and the blizzard and the snow. There is a strange aurora borealis effect that has been going for all of this time, a strange bluey white shimmering across the sky that does give everything a very faint glow, which means in the distance you can just about make out the points where the glacier starts to fall off into the ravine and see some of the cliff edges, but you can't see very far, and 10 towns is a distant memory at best.
Okay.
So as you're looking out over all of this, you can't see hide nor hair of civilization or anything else living at this point.
Okay.
It's a bit disconcerting.
I will just, as I'm walking back, offer a quick prayer to Trontia, mostly just checking in about the fact that there's no sun, which means there won't be any crops, which means there won't be any food. Yeah.
How does your praying look? Does it take effect?
It's just me having a conversation in my head with someone who doesn't answer back.
Let's hear it then.
A bit concerning that there isn't any sun, which means there won't be any crops, which means that people won't be able to eat. Also, there's no food coming here, which is also a bit concerning about none of the people having any food. Just letting you know that if you could send some food our way, that would be grand. Just if you could, that would be lovely. Thank you.
There is no reply, but there never is.
No.
Do you turn and head back into the ravine?
Yeah.
as you turn and head back into the ravine and start walking down this quite steep at first, and then it evens out into a wider base of the ravine as you go, you can see your tent up ahead, and the whole ravine has a slightly smoky aspect to it because of all of these people and the various torches and fires, and the ravine does not close up entirely at the top, but it does go in a bit, so air does get trapped down here. You can see that outside your tent there is a small fire and a pot on the fire where Kenna is sat cooking up what looks like some mushrooms, but you're not sure. She is very tall, very blonde, has quite defined musculature, very sort of Nordic look about her, and she is just starting to cook and sees you walking up and, hey, I started cooking. Hope that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's it like out there?
Dark.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Nothing's changed, huh?
Well, no, the glow in the sky's still there. No caravan. Still dark.
Okay.
I don't suppose we could go to your family and ask for food.
They travel. The tribe of the caribou is all over the glacier. They won't have. There is a space nearby where we go when things are bad, but I don't know if they're there. And frankly, it's pretty dangerous as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could go see Miss Beckett and ask if we could just, at what point it's sensible to pack it in and just go.
It's got to be on people's minds, right? I mean, if it's dangerous to stay, I guess it's probably dangerous to travel through this as well. It's a couple of days travel back down to the 10 towns. We wouldn't want to lose anybody.
Well, I mean, there's a point where starving is going to become an issue if the caravans don't come.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I'll keep cooking. Do you want to have breakfast, or do you want to go see her now?
She'll be in a tent. I'll go see her now.
Okay. Nice to see you.
So we spent the night together, Kenna.
Yeah, but language. Your tongue is not my first language. Roll an insight check if you like.
Roll an insight check. It's a 20, not natural.
She is embarrassed about not quite knowing how to refer to where you're at, because you met, what is it, like 2.5 weeks ago?
Yeah.
You hit it off. It's going well, but it's really, really early doors still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for cooking breakfast. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, you're welcome. Something I can do really well.
Just go see Miss Beckett.
Miss Beckett's tent is pretty central in the rest of Camp Howell. It is sort of like it's such a big tent that it takes up quite a bit of space that it's quite hard to miss, which is also partially the point.
Yeah. It's also the opposite of mine. Mine is covered in like farming symbology. So there's like corn embroidered on it. Like it's the one thing my parents gave me when I left. The carrots embroidered on it. Like it screams like you come from a farming community. Here is your tent.
It's also not magical and pretty small. Like it's not even got like height to it. It's just a place to lie down in. It's not designed as a living space.
Yeah.
Whereas Miss Beckett's tent is a pavilion.
Yeah.
Got bookshelves.
Yeah.
I mean, who needs books when you have a scythe? I presume there is a way to knock on your tent.
I think probably the standing approach is if the flap is slightly ajar, there'd probably be a little sign or something, like some just a little sort of wooden hanging thing on the outside that indicates like you come in if you have an issue, like sort of the meeting room busy closed kind of. You
have an open close sign on your
basically,
tent.
Yeah.
I think I
and is currently open for business.
Lean in. I'm like knock knock.
You probably see me just tapping a dry quill on the bottom of a piece of paper, nervously looking up, and there's a flash of like, oh, what now? But put down the quill. Yes, come in, Prosperous.
Morning.
Yes, it is.
And
it is, little
gloriously
undifferentiated, but it is.
gloriously dark day on the glacier.
Day 5 of this now. Please sit down
6.
if you would like.
It's day 6.
6, of course.
Just checking in, really. I've just been out for a walk. No sign of the caravans again. Just checking, really, that there is a plan as regards everyone not starving.
Yes, I assure you I'm quite on top of matters at the time being. I've had the latest
an
reports
insight
from-
check on that.
Yeah. I am rolling.
I've rolled a 13.
Okay. I seem like I think I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I've had the latest report from Garvanor, and I am determining how far we can stretch our rations while remaining here. Of course, there is a point of no return beyond which we would have insufficient supplies to return to a safer area, but at the moment we have no information on the state of the pass, the roads, travel. Scouts and caravans haven't been getting through, so we have no reason to assume we can get through either.
I mean, I suppose that's fair, although the scouts and the caravans aren't usually as well guarded as this camp is.
That is true. If it gets to that point, we may have to consider it, but I'm reluctant to throw more people at the problem if they're not going to return. And I'm reluctant to uproot the old... Go ahead.
From interrupting you, from outside the tent, you hear a shout.
What? Of what?
It's a humanoid voice shouting, "Help!" As you can hear someone running out of
Run outside and, like, swing the scythe off my back as we go.
Mm-hmm.
I will follow at a walking pace. This is a problem to attend to, but this is not a sprinting problem. But yeah.
Cool.
Someone yelling help is a sprinting problem in Prosperous's.
Yeah, there's a definition.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a definition of paladin, wizard. Those inside the mash tent, you can also hear someone running. You hear someone shouting help. Milk, Ivy, do you do anything in particular?
Yeah, Ivy will turn to Aspen, go, stay here, and then charge out. I've also realized I haven't described Ivy at all. Is now a good time to do that?
Please do. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of Ivy's thing, though, is Ivy is arguably quite nondescript. That's the point of Ivy.
Yeah, but it's hard to imagine nondescript. But yeah, female, she, her pronouns, human, early 20s-ish, pale, freckles, smiley, very dark hair, braided sensibly behind, because you know, you don't want long hair getting in the way like it does on all films. Wearing very, very sensible, practical, warm, dark clothes.
Lovely.
Good boots.
Excellent. So Ivy goes dashing out. Milk?
Milk will watch the young nondescript woman with the tidy hair rush out of the mess tent and groan inwardly to himself, change magically into a light summer dress and flip-flops, and exit at a walking pace.
You do know that Aspen, Ivy's, you assume, sister, has watched Ivy go and was going to get up as well. And then when Ivy said, "Jump," sat back down again awkwardly, but clearly is thinking about running out and joining in, is sort of wants to know what's going on. And you just get that.
Okay.
Garvanor, at the meantime, hasn't moved from behind the bar and is just watching everyone go out with a kind of, no major intention of joining in the situation at that point.
Good. Civilians, they don't want to get into trouble. They should stay here.
Vixen.
Hello. I think on hearing the commotion, I've kind of groaned, rolled out of bed, and gone out, because this is the bit where my job comes in. I can sleep in the mornings because that's when the miners go down. It's when they come back up that is the problem for me. And Victor kind of twists his ring around his finger, a ring with the emblem of Lyra the Joybringer, who is his patron, and says, "No sun for 5 days, pretty bloody joyful." And kind of stomps out. Like, the thing is, it's cold for everyone, but Victor wants everyone to know how especially cold it is for him, a Siberian cat tabaxi, kind of doing the whole show of stamping his feet about, rubbing his hands together as he kind of walks towards where he heard the sound, and also keeping an eye out for Cyrus, his friend, to see if he's around.
Mm-hmm. Cyrus, would you know this? I don't know if you would. We'll come back to it. I'm not saying what I was going to say. So,
secrets and mysteries.
As all of you start moving out of your various tents and mashups to make your way outside behind towards the tunnel where the shouting was coming from, one of the miners is running into view. They have clearly run through the palisade gate. There is a gate set in the tunnel, which is quite large, quite wide at the end of the ravine, because the ravine just continues into the ice, and at a certain point becomes the ravine doesn't stretch all the way up to the sky anymore, so it just becomes quite a wide, large tunnel heading down into the ice. A palisade wall has been set, again that's a sort of wooden stakes in the ground, has been set to protect, because when you first got here there were things living in the tunnel that had to be taken out. Mostly ice toads, which are not scary, they're just really big toads. So there was and also the guards who guard the various excavators going down into the ice have also reported some flora and fauna, but nothing too serious. Still, Miss Beckett's suggestion was, let's put up a wall just in case. The gate has been flung open, and a human miner is just scrabbling out of the dark, screaming, trying to make his way into the central camp, being chased from behind by two very large, tall, gangly, sharp-clawed trolls. These are ice trolls. They have a bluish tint to their skin, and they are snarling and running up behind him, trying to catch up with him and running into the light and trying to get involved. Could everyone please roll me initiative?
Hey.
I was genuinely going to say this before, Chris, but is it fair to say that I had two of my retainers flanking me?
You know what, George? Yes, it is.
Cool. I wouldn't interrupt. I don't need to mention that I suddenly occurred to me that I would do this, but yeah, now it seems suspicious.
Thank you. Cool. I'm using D&D Beyond's initiative tracker, so you can just shout out numbers.
18.
Ooh.
16.
16.
Nat 20 for 25.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Any more for any more?
18 for milk.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Red, say it again.
18.
18 as well. Great. And
not sprinting, I have 7.
That makes a lot of sense. Good. Right. Lovely stuff. As you all are running out, Ivy, you're sprinting out first. You can see this human miner. You recognize him. He's one of the miners in the morning shift. Is just scrabbling across the ice, has fallen over, and these two very large, hulking humanoid monstrosities. You've probably seen trolls before. You've probably encountered them before. You're not, like, the idea of them isn't that terrifying, but also they will, absolutely eviscerate this poor humanoid if something isn't done. They're roughly 50 feet away from you as they're moving towards the man on the ground, who is roughly 40 feet away from you. What would you like to do?
The man is 40 feet away.
The man is 40 feet away. The trolls are 50 feet away.
Given that we're in perpetual nighttime, could it be pretty confidently stated that there are lots of shadows around?
Yes, the camp itself has a lot of torches, and what I'm going to say are probably continual flames because it is the Arcane Brotherhood's camp. I will say that there's a lot of wizardy magic going on to light the space up, but because of as described, the sort of smokiness of the area, and because it is completely darker from the sky, I will say that there are many dim patches and shadows and smoky areas, yes.
In that case, I would like to shadow step to, if I can, directly behind the first troll. That is the one that's closest.
Describe how that looks. Well, how does that? What happens?
Ivy is sprinting out.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a quick second to glance about and check that everyone is staring at the troll instead of at her, and then just she has a dark, long grey coat that basically she just turns on her heel, her coat flares, and she's gone.
Wow. And you reappear behind The two trolls. They're both they're not standing in a line or anything, but the two trolls are moving forward. You appear behind the trolls?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you within melee range? You appearing right next to them to hit them? Wow.
Yes, please.
Okay. And what happens next?
I have advantage because I did the shadow step. I would like to hit them, please.
Go ahead. You appear behind one of the trolls, and how are you hitting them? Is it punches, kicks?
I will do a left-handed jab and then a right-handed hook.
Brilliant. So these trolls are quite big, so you're probably going to, if you're appearing behind them, you're probably hitting them around the sort of thigh, lower back area. Bum. Hit them in the bum.
Kidneys. Can I aim for the kidneys?
You can aim for the kidneys, of course you can. Please do.
Okay. I have advantage on the first one.
You do.
Which is a nat 19. So,
yeah, that breaks their AC before your mod. So yeah, your first punch, goes straight into the kidney of one of these things. Humanoids still have kidneys, obviously. You thunk first hit.
Great, and then should I roll again before doing damage?
Do me all the attack rolls first because you're a monk. So
that is 17 to hit.
That hits as well. 2 hits.
Brilliant. Shadow Step was my bonus action. Yep, so that's all I can do.
Are you applying Stunning Strike on any of these?
I can do that! Sorry, I'm so excited to be playing that I forget all the things I can do. Yes, because it's not a bonus action, it's just a thing. Yes, I will try Stunning Strike on the first one.
Cool. I need to make a con saving throw.
DC 14.
That's a 10.
That's it. It's stunned! I stunned a troll!
So you disappear, reappear. No one sees you do this because Shadow Step of the dim lighting as described. Suddenly, one of the trolls just falls forward, pitches forward onto a knee, and you've stunned this troll and you're behind it. But from everyone else's perspective, 2 trolls come running up and one just goes and falls forward while the other moves past to try and get to the... You have no idea what's happened. Maybe it had a stomach upset. Now, you don't know at this point what's going on. Cool, lovely. Roll me the damage on that, please.
The damage is as well as the stun, right? The stun's not instead?
Stun happens and then damage is on top. So
beautiful. That is a 6 and a 3, 19 points of damage.
Monks. Yeah, you go behind and you're punching in the dark. No one knows that you're there yet, so it is quite a sort of weird thing to happen, but it's also happened completely unobtrusively because Ivy's got some secrets. Good start. Lovely. I presume that the Shadow Step doesn't take up your movement. Do you want to move away? Do you want to... I
wouldn't mind moving away because I won't take opportunity because he's stunned, right?
Yeah, there is another... Stunned. They're stunned. There is an opportunity attack potentially from the other one if they've seen you, which I'm guessing that they haven't. So you could move away if you wanted to. You could step back into the shadows. You're not rolling a stealth check. You're just staying out of the way. But
great. Then I will maybe jump 40 feet back again.
Cool. So you start moving. You move back from them. What's your movement speed?
55.
Oh my god. Hang on.
What? Are you in a car?
I have the mobile
feat as well as being a monk, and also which means with mobile you've hit this one. Even if you didn't stun it, it can't make opportunity attacks against you.
I need to reread that feat. That is brilliant.
So Ivy has appeared, and you can suddenly see, all of you looking at these trolls, as you saw this one stumble, a grey coat wisping away as a figure runs back from the troll, having hit it slightly. And none of you have seen Ivy in action before, because Ivy hasn't used these abilities with you before. So
I've seen Ivy punch someone through a wall.
You've seen Ivy punch someone through a wall, so you have some worries about Ivy, but you've not seen Ivy appear out of nowhere and punch things in the kidney necessarily.
Can I say that Ivy's gloves are brown leather straps, which have always been quite weird gloves, and suddenly they look a lot more like boxing wraps than you have clocked before.
Great. I will allow that for anyone who wants that to have. Milk, you see one of the trolls sort of pitch forward a little bit and Ivy step out from behind it and sort of move away carefully. What would you like to do?
Is the one that's being stunned, can it still see?
Yes.
Okay. Then if Ivy's moved, I am going to cast from where I'm standing Hypnotic Pattern on both of the trolls.
How do you cast? What does it look like? How does that work?
So I feel as there's a slight shimmer in reality, and then it sort of slightly begins to crack. And I won't describe what is seen through those cracks, but it's enough to divert people's attention from what's going on those who are involved in the spell. The rest of us are all fine and don't see anything.
What is the range on Hypnotic Pattern?
It is 120 feet.
What's the range of the effect inside?
30 feet.
Do you want to hit the miner on the ground as well?
I don't mind. I'd rather not, but if, it's not going to hurt him. So,
in which case, I'm going to say you can avoid it because Ivy moved quite significantly further away, so that's fine. So the Hypnotic Pattern appears around these trolls, and I'm seeing what I have to roll.
You're wisdom save for both, yeah.
That's an 11 and a 12.
Oh, you both fail. So you're now charmed and incapacitated, and I will add, just loudly to anyone who's listening, don't bloody touch them, or just chill, right? Relax, people.
Lovely. The two trolls one is stunned. The other one is looking at the patterns. They both appear to be completely stopped. They both appear to be out of commission for the time being. Prosperous, what are you up to?
I'm going to move forward to the miner.
Yep.
And get behind us, all of us, now.
Okay. It's not the miner's turn, so we
stand in front of the trolls. While we were coming over the pass, would you have cast Hypnotic Pattern before? Like, do I know how Hypnotic Pattern works?
Quite possibly. I think for controlling monsters, it's a big use of spell for me.
You're all 8th level characters. I'm going to assume that all of you have seen Hypnotic Pattern in effect before.
Yeah, because, I mean, we could use this to take out one of them.
Yeah, or go for it.
Still in it.
Yeah, so we've got like a minute now, and it can't do anything as long as the other one doesn't touch it. So,
yeah.
You beat the crap out of it if you want.
If you take it out in a round, then it doesn't matter.
Well, or we could tie one of them up.
You could try and tie them up. They are very big and very strong. Trolls, innit?
Trolls. How far would I have had to move to get here?
You would have had to move 40 feet as described.
Yeah, I would have had to dash to get here. So all I'm doing is telling the commoner to get out.
And the miners aren't commoners, just to be clear. They do have a stat block, but you are getting in between the miner and the trolls. So you're within 5 feet of the advancing trolls, basically, but they're currently Hypnotic Pattern, so can't move.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Victor.
So am I also 40 feet away from the miner?
Yes, from various different angles if you lot want to run in, but yes, because of the situation, you're all roughly 40 feet away.
Okay, can I see from here if he needs any medical attention?
He looks scared. He looks very, very scared. He has a couple of faint, there's a bit of blood on his shirt. There's a couple of cuts and bruises. It's quite hard to tell because everyone's wrapped up for the super, super cold. Well, not everyone. Most of you people aren't for some insane reason, but you're the party. But most of the NPCs are wrapped up pretty heavily.
Oh, some people. Okay, I think his stuff can wait then. I'm gonna wait till afterwards. I'm going to. I'm going to use Sacred Flame because why not start off with a nice basic one?
That will knock them out of Hypnotic Pattern if you cast it.
If you're going to knock them,
will. Sorry,
yeah.
You're right.
If you're going to knock them out, I would have done something else. I assume that we're not knocking them out of Hypnotic Pattern until the commoner is gone.
Yeah, no, of course, my bad.
It's all good. You can hold a Hypnotic Pattern until they're knocked out.
Sacred Flame.
Sorry, you can hold a Sacred Flame until one of them is knocked out of... you can hold a spell, and a cantrip doesn't cost you a spell slot or anything, requires concentration, but you could hold a Sacred Flame until one of them is knocked out and then hit it with it. That's perfectly fine.
I will do that then, and I think I'm going to join Prosperous in dashing towards this miner just to make sure they're safe and keep them out of the way, because that is my one job.
If you're dashing, that's your action, so you can't hold an action as well. But you can move 30 feet closer and then hold the action if you like, or you can dash all the way there.
I'm going to dash all the way there.
Okay. You dash over to the miner. Do you start helping him up off the ground?
I help him up from the ground. Yes, get up. Go back to the hut. I'll check on you later. Just get out of the way.
It's horrible. I've just starting up. Is it just babbling?
Yes, you're very brave. Well done. Everyone very proud.
Yeah, Victor. Okay.
I love Victor.
I love him.
Ash.
Should I have rolled initiative for my skeletons? They're not going to do anything dramatic at this point.
What I'm going to say to make our lives so much easier, George, is they will go after you in initiative if you want them to do anything. Don't roll. Oh God! Just they go after you. They go directly after you in initiative.
That is just good. I'm just going to have them, because people are already attending to the miner, I'm going to have them just stay by me and defend themselves. Well, if the trolls come into range, then they'll attack the trolls, but otherwise they're holding them back.
So they're holding actions while standing in front of you?
Yeah, only if the trolls come into range. Otherwise, they're just going to hang out there next to me.
Yeah, so they've moved next to you and are holding actions to attack anything that's within range. Fine, that makes sense to me.
And then,
what weapons do your skeletons carry?
I think the skeleton stat block has, presumably short swords. Yeah, short swords and bows, but I guess they...
It's up to you what weapons your skeletons carry.
I'm going to say I have short swords and bows for them, but they probably won't carrying them around their standard duties, so they probably just have short swords.
Great,
belted
no problem.
on.
I'm fine with that. That's cool.
They'll draw their short swords.
Cool. And what do you do?
Does Hypnotic Pattern get knocked out if we do something, take any damage? Ooh, okay. I might just ready a spell, actually. I'm going to ready a chromatic orb to target one of the trolls at third level, if anyone knocks them out of the Hypnotic Pattern. So I've got Asher wears a brooch on lapel, which has got the symbol of the Arcane Brotherhood, which is set in a kind of dark gem. So she takes that off and sort of charges it up and holds it out ready, just gathered this sort of faint purple energy within it.
Lovely. Okay, so you're holding a third level spell. Please be aware if it gets to your turn and hasn't been used, you will lose the spell slot regardless.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good. Lovely. Right, it is the troll's turn. They are both hypnotic patterned, and I'm guessing that they can't roll anymore, can they, Red? It's only if they get knocked out of it. Cool.
Yeah, only if someone helps them or they take damage.
The stunned troll on the ground that Ivy punched, is going, as it's down there. Ivy, you're closest to this. Actually, you're all Prosperous and Victor are closest to this. The skin around where the kidney shot happened starts to swell and bubble slightly. Trolls regenerate damage, and the troll is regenerating some of the hit points that got taken off it in this round. Technically, it has to roll to not be stunned anymore, but it currently is hypnotic patterned, so it can't do anything. So I'm going to say that it's currently hypnotic patterned and just leave it with that because it's easier. Right, Ivy, you're 40 feet away back watching this happen. You were avoided the hypnotic pattern. You can see two allies are now closer. What do you want to do?
Has the commoner gone?
At the end of the round, the commoner moves back behind where Victor said and moves further back into the camp. There are other people now coming out of tents, some people that you recognize. Ivy, what a surprise. Aspen is now poking her head out of the MASH tent and is watching. Some other, Kenna has moved up as well. She's not moving into combat directly, but is just watching what's going on as well, and clearly there to help if necessary. Other NPCs we haven't met yet are there too. Right, as this is happening and the miner moves back and is sort of grabbed by various people and pulled out of any kind of danger. Ivy.
Can I have a free action to briefly yell something?
Of course.
Is that so? Ivy will see the crowds coming and go, either fight or run. Don't just stand here. And then she knows how hypnotic pattern works, but she also knows it's going to wear off and then there'll be two trolls. So
and they regenerate,
and she's seen the regeneration, so I think she's going to jump straight back in on the one she's stunned.
Great, okay.
Yeah, not bother with stunning. No, because the hypnotic pattern will stop working immediately, won't it? So,
it will, yes.
Well, we'll start with her attack action, which is to go for a cross and uppercut. That's super cocked. That is a 19 and a 17 to hit.
Both hit, yes. Is this the one you already stunned?
Yes.
Grand.
Does that troll count as stunned anymore?
I just rolled a con check to see, because technically they'd roll at the end of their turn, and I'm not sure how it balances with hypnotic pattern. So
okay.
It's like only lasts one round for the monks.
It must only last until the end of your turn, I believe. So.
Yeah.
And
then
it's
you get
attack rolls with advantage.
I mean, they've both hit anyway, so.
They both hit, yeah.
But it might be natural 20.
but it's hypnotic patterned, and therefore can it roll saving throws?
It automatically fails strength and dex saving throws, but this is wisdom.
It's wisdom. I mean, I rolled another saving throw, and I rolled it just quietly to myself, and it got a 3. So I'm very happy for this to be an attack with advantage. So check on both, roll again, and see if they're nat 20s.
Yeah. No, they both just still hit.
Yeah, they just hit.
Okay. I'm going to spend a key point to flurry of blows, so I get 2 more unarmed strikes.
Attacks.
Yeah.
And it's all punches, right? It's all very boxing sort of.
Yeah. Very, very, using hips and body weight to just power into its kneecaps.
Ivy's not big. Ivy's slight, but it's all the weight going through the body. Cool.
That is a 26 to hit and another 17 to hit.
All 4 of your attacks hit.
Great. So that is 4d6 plus 20.
Plus 5 each time and 4 attacks hit, monks.
Yeah. 6, 2, 8. 3 and 3 is 14, so 34 points of damage.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
My new favourite class.
Yeah, Ivy runs in from behind, and Prosperous, as you're watching, and Victor, I don't know if Victor cares, but just let you know, this strange, slight miner, like one of the miners, just steps in and with all of the weight of her quite small, slight frame, just punches through. And the punch, it's when you watch someone who knows how to hit someone, it's not that, I'm hitting someone. It's that very much punching through and going straight down and around every single time. And these 4 very solid hits, this troll just shakes them out with no padding, is just, like now it was already pretty bad, is now like crunched down very low, just crouched, holding its hands in front of its head to avoid these horrible kidney and side punches coming into it from behind.
Yeah, is Prosperous still next to me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I lean down to her, I'm like, can they all do that?
What, all of the miners?
Yeah.
No.
Cool. Right. That Ivy, you do technically have 15 feet of movement if you want.
I'm gonna stay put because I'd rather it went after me than all the random gawkers who still haven't moved.
Fair. Ash, you were going to say something. It's not your turn. Oh, your reaction. Yes, your ready action. As Ivy comes in and
pulling out the crystal, and I'm just like noting what's happening behind the troll. Like, I'm going to just make a note of that for later. And then release a blast of an orb of fire.
An orb of fire.
At the troll.
Very smart.
Fire damage. That seems mediocre. Oh wow, that's not good. 13 points of fire damage.
Ooh, on a 3rd level one.
Yeah, there's 2, 2, 1, 5, and something else.
Did you roll to hit?
Oh, I didn't roll to hit. I should roll to hit with advantage. I did not roll to hit. That is correct.
Why roll with advantage?
It's not with advantage anymore. It's not stunned.
It's just to be. Oh, you didn't re-stun it yet. No, so
I didn't. Sorry.
Hit, so I'm not even hit.
Because of stun and hypnotic pattern crossing over, I'm saying it's not stunned anymore. Yeah.
I want to do more damage.
14 to hit.
14 to hit misses, I'm afraid. The fireball.
Yeah, no, well, with that damage roll, I don't mind.
The ball of flame fires out from Miss Beckett's pendant and flies over the heads and past the troll and impacts with quite a sort of deafening boom. And the sound.
In its head, and it dropped down with the force of the strike.
Your firebolt flies over the palisade wall and fires down into the ravine tunnels, and boom, as a faint sort of pop down that direction, and some of the ice falls down from the ceiling.
I try not to let my displeasure and embarrassment show in front of the crowd.
Milk.
Milk will just take a moment to slow clap and go, "Thank you for joining us, Miss Beckett. Always a pleasure." And then I will hurl an Eldritch Blast at the one that's being pounded on by everyone.
Cool. Your Eldritch Blast is now 2 attack rolls because it's 2 Eldritch Blasts. Yep.
So an 18 and a 25 to hit.
Both hit. What do your Eldritch Blasts look like? Because your magic has a strange, otherworldly quality to it.
Oh, I get white, like I want to say creamy, but not in like a sick way. Like more like cobweb is what I'm after.
Okay.
So speak to the SFX lab. Kind of streaks over, and it's, again, you get a sense that like the world is just kind of splitting as it kind of pulls through, but rather than darkness being on the inside, there's some other kind of gushy subaquatic weirdness, and it just splits the air. And hopefully, it did hit. It hit both of them for
both impact the troll. Yeah.
2 10s. For 13 plus 10, 23.
Nice.
Hell yeah, 23 points of damage. This troll is looking very much worse for wear, covering itself, and suddenly 2 bolts blast into it, and it sort of falls over backwards slightly as Ivy's pummeling it, and as it's been blasted back by 2 Eldritch Blasts. You can't add any more effects to Eldritch Blast, can you? It's just more damage. You can't push or pull with it.
No, that's it.
Grand. Lovely. Do you want to move bonus actions?
No, I'm kind of good where I am. It seems like this is all in hand. Yeah.
Great.
I'm good.
Prosperous.
How bad does it look?
The troll?
Yeah.
Pretty bad. I can't give you more than that.
Like?
Under half.
Okay. I will cast a bonus action. Searing Smite.
Yep.
Here it is.
First.
Yep. How does that look? How's your casting look?
The blade of my scythe suddenly erupts into flames.
Nice.
Cool.
And then I will take my 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like swinging in.
Wide arcs.
That one's cocked between a 2 and a natural 20. That's so irritating. Right, that is a 21 and a 7 plus 9?
16.
16.
Both hit.
I'm gonna smite on the first one.
So you've cast a smite spell. You're going to divine smite as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Paladins.
Do I not need to?
No, it's fine.
So that's 1, 2, and the searing smite has taken fire damage this round.
Yep. Means it can't regenerate for those who are not in the know. I'm guessing the Prosperous has fought trolls before.
Probably.
Yeah, makes sense.
They probably attack farms.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Right. All of these dice. Shit. That's not great damage. 10, 14, 16, add 6, 20, 22.
22 points of
on the
damage.
First one.
The first one, you just in a single fell swoop cut through and around, and this troll that was sort of crouched down, you cut through its arms just in one quick strike, like there's no bone there or anything, just completely through, and slit it across the chest, and it just collapses forward, hits the deck, the fire damage searing through it so it can't regenerate, so it's definitely very much dead and will not be regenerating.
It's dead.
It is dead.
Right, well, I guess I'll hit the next one then.
Are you sure you want to do that? There is a whole round. That means it will be out in the ability where it can do things. I'm saying because of turn-based initiative, you're probably smart enough to hold an attack before it's had a chance to go, and then taking a round to hit it. That's fine.
Would I be able to smite if
Yes.
I hold my attack?
You can't hold an attack. You can hold a single attack, and you've already attacked once this turn.
So I'd lose my attack.
You'd lose your attack, yes.
I'm just going to hit it.
Okay.
And I'm going to use the second level smite.
Okay. This one is not going to be burned, just FYI. You're searing smite at the last one.
Yes.
Which also means it won't revive itself even on its turn. So, not a bad thing.
14, 18, 20, 22, 28 points of damage.
Fuck. Yeah, you strike across at the other one. This time it's not quite as clean a cut. You do hit back against it, and the scythe sort of skids across the rubbery arms of the troll and across the side of it, and it does gash it quite badly, but it also like shakes itself, and it's now no longer hypnotic patterned and is clearly looking a little bit sort of, it can now see around it, and it sees its buddy dead on the ground and just is generally quite upset about that. Does anyone here speak giant?
No.
No?
No.
No. Cool. You don't know, but in giant it said, no!
Oh.
Right. Lovely. Thank you,
Oh,
Prosperous.
I get to re-roll the ones.
You get
Sorry.
to re-roll the ones.
I took Great Weapon Master. Oh, that's increased by 3, 4. It goes up by 7.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wow.
That
Sorry.
scythe cut, new character, who does? It's fine. That scythe cut hurts more than it did. Right, good. Right. Lovely stuff, everyone. Great, thank you, Prosperous. You have movement and use the bonus action. So.
I'm not moving away from the troll that might now attack me.
Cool. Victor,
Hello.
you're slightly behind Prosperous. You've seen Prosperous in battle before. All of you travelled up together, so none of this is a surprise. Just you're aware that Big Paladin do Big Paladin things.
I've definitely seen her big paladin things before. I should have something better than that, surely. No, I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna do a classic Sacred Flame.
Okay.
Why not?
Just so you're aware, Sacred Flame is radiant damage, so it won't stop the troll's regeneration effect. If you have something fire-based, it would.
I must have something fire-based. In case it's not obvious, I've never properly played as a cleric before.
That's totally fine. New characters. We're all finding our feet.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Sacred Flame.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm making a dex save, right?
Yes, that would be a dex save.
Ooh.
How did they do, Chris?
Ah.
Sorry, Emma sat next to me in real life, so Emma can see my dice rolls.
All right, and that is... Well, that's not great. And that's even worse, actually. Is that really all I can roll?
Yep.
Okay, that's only 5.
Yeah, it's 5 points of radiant damage, unless we knock it.
5 points of damage.
You sear out a radiant flame. How does your casting manifest? What does it look like? Does Victor have a certain thing to do with Lyra, or is it just...
Victor has a ring on his pinky, and I think it doesn't come directly from the ring, but he kind of uses that to channel his power to his deity, and comes from his big padded paws.
So you use the ring, and this sort of glowing, beautiful golden light pours out of your paws, and the troll just gets seared by the golden light that's pouring out of your hands behind.
That'll do it.
Yeah, lovely, great stuff.
You're welcome.
And you have a bonus action and movement if you want it.
I do. Is Prosper still next to me?
Yes.
Can I use guidance as a bonus action?
Sure.
I clap a extinguished hand onto Prosperous' shoulder and go, "You get it,
hang
kid."
on. Sorry, no. Guidance is an action, not a bonus action. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, it's my bad.
That's weird. Don't worry.
Sorry, this isn't the most interesting turn.
That's all right. Don't worry.
No, that's all for now. Thank
Cool.
you.
You no bonus action, and you stay where you are. You don't move.
No, there I am.
Lovely.
Happy back here.
Ash.
Much as I hate to say it, have the trolls been?
The trolls go after you.
That's good. To be clear, that is good. I've been completely baited as well. Like I wouldn't normally do 2 damage dealing spells on 2 consecutive turns, but I'm still holding my hand out, like move over to the other one.
I sense some wounded pride.
Next level grammatical, telling no one. Oh god,
It's a first level grammatical this time.
It's 1 lower than last time. It's 13.
Oh.
What kind of damage is it this time?
It would have been fire as well, so it's another fireball.
Another one flies over and just misses entirely and flies over the top and again impacts down into the tunnel a little bit. Just going to make a roll.
Melty tunnel.
From inside the tunnel, you hear more sounds of like rock falls.
Today is not a good day.
Okay, Ash, bonus action. bonus action or movement? Anything?
Sorry, no, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. Cool. That troll is dead. The other troll, who's currently being beset, has not been hit by any fire damage or acid damage, and therefore, the scar where the slashes have hit and where the sacred flame burned, parts of its skin start to almost bubble, like almost pockmark, like you can almost see warts forming. And while it does that, its skin sort of starts slowly knitting together and filling in. And as it does, it is going to round on Prosperous is right there. Ivy's right there as well. But Prosperous is definitely scarier than Ivy, and trolls have an intelligence of 7. So,
and then it just also land a massive hit.
Yeah.
So.
It makes 3 attacks, so it's going to lean in and strike out at Prosperous.
Got a lot of hit points, that'll be fine.
Yep. The first attack is an 11.
No.
The second attack is a 13.
No.
The third attack...
I think the troll like trained in the same place that Ash did.
It's a 15.
No.
The troll just launches out and tries to claw and bite you.
Handle of the scything.
Yeah, just tries to get over you and tries to attack, biting down, but can't get past the massive chonk paladin.
A fellow graduate of Stormtrooper Marksmanship Academy.
As the troll is biting down, trying to get past you, a couple more spells will fly out from behind Ashra as members of the Arcane Brotherhood who are here with you. There's about 5 to 10 different wizards with you, including Ash as you look back. Raoul, who you are quite close to, are all going to throw various low-level cantrips to burn firebolts at the troll. 1 or 2 do hit, quite a few miss. The troll takes another, 2 points of fire damage from the back and is yowling into the sky because it's not going to regenerate on this turn. Right. As this happens, a figure moves quietly forward from the back. A very large Goliath is going to be running forward, snarls a little and throws a dagger. That dagger goes flinging out towards the troll and lands into the rubbery hide, and is just going to take a little bit of damage from that, not a huge amount. But this large Goliath is moving, various knives coming into hands, with everyone trying to help out and get involved. Kenna's going to run up behind you as well.
Don't do that.
She is not carrying a weapon, but she's going to run up from behind and just looking around behind you going, what? Just run in underneath and try and just sock the the troll, and hits for 4 points of damage. And is now in melee combat as well. Yep.
What?
No.
Yep.
No.
Right.
Boy.
Kill it, Ivy.
Yeah, seeing this, is Aspen still around? Would a proper look take an action, or can I have a quick check?
Having a quick look, Aspen was sort of leaning out and watching all of this, and now other people are running in, is clearly moving to join in as well.
As a free action, I will yell, Aspen, don't you dare! And I'd like to attack the troll.
Yeah, please do.
That is super cocked. That is a 23,
Well,
and that is a 17.
Those 2 both hit, yes.
I would like to stunning strike.
Mm-hmm.
So con 14.
20 on a con
I'd
save.
like stunning strike again on the second attack.
23.
Ugh, fine.
There are the good rolls.
Will spend another. Yeah, it's worth it. I will spend another key point to Flurry of Blows.
Sure.
So 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 26 and a natural 20.
Woo!
Well, they all hit, and don't forget to double the dice on that one.
Great. So, maths, that is 4. So it's going to be still plus 20, but then 5d6?
It's 5d6 plus 20, yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Monks.
Love a monk.
4, 9, 3 and 3 is 15 and 5, 20, 40 points of damage.
Can you describe these punches?
Wow.
Is it more of the sort of punching? Is it going for pressure points? What's the sort of style here? Is it just a very good boxer being good at the boxing, though?
I think Ivy will just change a little bit. You've known her as kind of quite bouncy, quite smiley, quite quiet, but Mm-hmm. And then suddenly just her entire body language shifts, head down on the balls of her feet, her weight in exactly the right place. And then the 4 blows will happen like in the space it would take someone else to do 1. It will just be incredibly quick. So probably a left jab, a right uppercut, a left jab, and then a right cross right to the groin.
What's the cross? What's the cross?
Jabs are straight ahead, crosses are across the body, so it gets more weight into it. An uppercut is again a cross, but it's going up to the side.
So your jab would be your non-dominant hand, and your cross is your dominant hand. So a cross will land with more power.
Cool. So, Ivy in a series of hits to the troll's crotch. Thank you for that, Rebecca. I'm just thinking about it.
Fist height. Like, what do you expect me to do?
You various hits, and the troll just sort of crunches down to its knees, clearly just taking 40 direct punching damage to the crotch. Yeah, wow. Good.
To its ice cubes.
There's a faint ding. There isn't. Good. Right. Milk.
How's it looking, this troll?
Bad.
In that case, I will fling another split in reality and an Eldritch Blast at it, I think.
Yeah, 2 again, don't forget.
Yeah. So that's 25 twice.
Yeah, they both hit, yeah.
Good. And...
you'll have to roll real bad not to finish this off, so...
Okay, good. 17.
Yeah. The both shots of both tearing holes in reality go flying towards it, and as they do, they both impact its head, and just the entire head explodes. Everyone nearby just as bits of troll come raining down over you all.
No.
It's
fine with the troll.
Its body, already seared by the fire damage from the other wizards who were joining in from the side, smolders at the floor and doesn't regenerate, and it is gone. It is dead. We're out of initiative.
I would just like to, at that moment, just change my appearance completely to look like Ivy, but in sort of silk shorts with a star on my chest with my fists on fire, kind of radiating sunshine, just right out. Turn back into myself and applaud.
Ivy just looks really unsure what to do with that.
The troll is down. They're both down.
Start running for the tunnel.
Okay, you run down into the tunnel. The gate is currently open. Looking down into the tunnel, there's been a minor ice slide avalanche. The side of the tunnel has been caved in slightly by 2 large chromatic orbs. It's not completely blocked. There are ways around it. And looking down into the tunnel as it goes off into the dark. Do you have dark vision?
Probably. Maybe, I don't know.
If it's look under features and traits, and it'll say under your
new character.
Yeah, new character. All good.
Yes.
In various shades of grey as the light fades out, as these torches the torches don't go all the way down the tunnel. Looking down into it, into the darkness, you can see around the edge of this slight avalanche that the tunnel continues down, and there's no sound of anything further coming up the tunnel. You also can't see any other of the miners. As you pass by you're looking through the palisade gate. The gate is open, you could close it.
But then there'd be people trapped on the side of it. I guess it makes sense to ask the miner what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Given that there's nobody immediately there, we'll go back.
Okay, you move back. What's everyone else doing?
Have we seen ice trolls before? Are they like a known thing in this? Is that
You would be
relatively
aware that ice trolls are part of the flora and fauna of the glacier of this part of the world, but what you wouldn't have had one attack the camp before, no.
So not typically aggressive like that?
Oh, they are typically aggressive, just one hasn't attacked the camp before because you haven't encountered any.
Right.
But you've encountered trolls before, and these are very clearly trolls. Like there's something beneath the ice.
There's nobody in the immediate vicinity of the tunnel, but I assume there were more miners down there. We should go find them.
Shall we ask Tim where the rest of his crew are?
He has been taken back and is sat down on the ice with various people milling around, not quite sure what to do with him. Just sat there, rocking a little bit.
Oh, we'll come over.
Approach.
What's he called? We would know him.
Yes, he's one of the miners. You do know him. His name is Tim.
Tim, right. Tim, what can you tell us what happened?
It's awful. The ceiling caved in, and then there were these trolls, and I didn't see where anyone went.
Can you tell us where you were?
We were down the excavation. We'd just broken through to a new part. We'd found some floor that looked like what Miss Beckett described, and then we were moving forward, and suddenly the wall caved in. There was all these trolls. I ran as fast as I could, but I couldn't see what happened behind me. I don't know.
You found something.
Yes, I found more of the same. More of the same. We found like bits. It looks like it. We don't know anything about it. It's just like bits of the city, definitely.
We can go down there and see if anyone's still.
Yes.
alive.
Do you know if the trolls?
How many trolls? Sorry.
Oh, you could. Actually, no. Yeah.
How many trolls did you say?
I just saw like 3 or 4, and then I started running. I didn't count. There were loads of them, and I just ran.
Could be more trouble down there, Miss Beckett.
You got rescue.
I'm done. Sorry.
Cool. It's all right. Did they cause the cave in, or were they just there at the same time?
I don't know. The wall started caving in, and then there were these just sharp claws reaching out of the wall, and I just ran.
It's all right, Tim. Running seems to have been the best thing to do in that situation.
I don't know how everyone else is doing. I don't know what happened.
How many were in your crew?
As the night shift, there were about 15.
We should get down there.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking
First
around,
of all,
there are
I'd like to just see if Tim needs more medical attention at all.
Tim is at half hit points, so Tim has not many hit points.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to cast Cure Wounds.
Sure. How does that manifest?
Yeah.
It's the same gold glowing light.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool, no problem.
That's let's see. That is 1d8 plus 3 plus 2 plus the spell's level is another 3. So
Yep.
it's 6. Oh well, okay, no, 8 hit points for Tim.
8 hit points. Cool. Tim's nearly up to full health. As you cast Tim, just some of the wounds healing. Thank you. Thank you, Victor.
Yeah, so be careful next time. Yes, 15. You said.
Well, yeah, the whole group and a couple of guards as well. As you know this, you know what the numbers are. There's 4 guards with them, and they're not just guards. They are much like some of the other people here who are here to be guards and trackers, and they're people of ability, people of renown.
Well, I guess I'm going down after them, aren't I?
Yes, I will see to it immediately. If anyone wants to come with me, now would be the time to say so.
Yes, I'm going now.
Yes, I had assumed that, Prosperous.
You need a miner. You need someone who knows the shaft.
Lead on, Miss Beckett. Absolutely.
I really hope no one would go there, thanks. It's set in a mine. It's gonna happen.
Okay, so are you all taking Ivy at face value at the moment?
Not calling attention to it, but
Happy for her to come with.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Exactly.
I'm a
Well-
bit frightened.
Grab a bowl of breakfast to eat on the way.
I mean, Prosperous, I know you are very keen for us to get going, and the urgency is very well placed, but probably waiting half an hour to get supplies and plan this properly is better than rushing in and dying in a day.
I mean, given the situation, the longer we wait, the more people may be dead.
Yes, and what are people going to eat when we go down with no supplies?
I mean, Miss Beckett, this is absolutely your area, but I'd imagine time to pack up food, warm clothes, torches.
How far? It's a shift. Like, how far down the mine are they?
That you've excavated in the last 2 weeks. The tunnels were existent. You didn't have to dig too heavily into the tunnels, but in the tunnels you will have occasionally found like strange bits of metal with strange writing and designs on them. Some of you know what you're digging for. Some of you aren't 100% like bit fully in the know. You are excavating something. It looks like bits of, you would say, some kind of crashed thing, but it must be gigantic. Most of you aren't up on this, apart from 2 very notable exceptions.
No, but what I mean is, like, if it's a day rotation and a night rotation, it can't be that far into the tunnels, because otherwise you'd have longer rotations.
You would need to move for roughly an hour or 2 down the tunnels to get to where
so you wouldn't need like a huge amount of supplies to get there and back.
No, but there are people who might be injured. So
5 minutes. Meet back here when we do the palisade entrance. Grab what you need, nothing more.
Lovely. So you're going to bolt down and breakfast in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Can I go? I'll go get you some. I'll get you some food, and moves back towards
Thank
the fire.
you.
Aspen is over with Ivy. Can I come?
No. Can I just pull her, not painfully, but just firmly over to a corner and just go, what on earth were you thinking? Do you think we've travelled all this way and put all this work in to keep you safe, for you to get your head blown off by a troll?
Yeah, you weren't exactly being careful. I don't think anyone here thinks you're just some random miner anymore.
Yeah, well, you're not dead, so I'm happy with how that went.
Tell me to be careful and then not being careful yourself. So that's a really good example, by the way.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a significant age gap and a significant experience gap and expertise gap, so maybe you should listen when I tell you to look after yourself.
Fine.
Given you're the one who got us in this mess in the first place, maybe I'm right. Look, I love you, and I'm sorry, just you scared me, because if I'm trying to kill a big scary thing and suddenly I'm worried about you, we could all die. So just
Fine. Okay.
sit it out, yeah?
I'll go and look after Tim, I guess.
Please do. You are more gifted in that than I could possibly ever be. So go do that, and please stay safe.
Okay, fine. Look after yourself.
I love you, right? I'll be back soon.
Love you too. Aspen will move across and head into Victor's shack, where Aspen does do work as a sort of, nurse is a strong word, assistant. It's probably what it is more like. Victor, are you in your tent packing up?
Yes, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot to pack up. Victor has a hip flask, Victor has a ring, Victor has lots and lots of clothes, and just kind of bundles it up into a pack. And there's no one else in the medical bay right now, apart from Tim still here.
Tim
Okay.
is sat down, just sort of recovering a bit. Aspen comes in. Hey, Victor, do you want me to look after Tim while you're gone?
Oh, I'm getting some help around here. I didn't realize that people
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I probably should have been in here before everything went wrong, just in case there was a problem, right?
Now you understand. Now we're getting somewhere. Yes, watch the boy, keep the fire going, and stay out of my bed.
Okay.
Any questions?
Not that stay out of my bed way. Very
that's
clearly
my
it's just
baby
lovely and warm.
Hey.
She will nod and start stoking the fire and putting a kettle on to make sure Tim's got something hot to drink. So yeah, Aspen's dealing with that as you step out.
Yeah.
Victor, if it helps your feelings of how this is going, the miner friend of yours was in the morning shift. Cyrus was in the morning shift.
Yeah, great. Yes, well, he's a tough bastard. He'll be fine. Right, let's go.
Okay, good. You move out. You're ready to
He'll
go.
be fine.
Ivy, are you doing anything else to prep in the 5 minutes?
I'll grab like my scarf and some extra layers. I will probably go to the mess and grab some food because Prosperous might be able to create some. I can't.
I can't create food.
Then I'm definitely going to go grab some. And yeah, just kind of grabbing.
But Victor could.
Oh, and I've got some darts, so just grabbing them for like ice pick kind of purposes.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to say you have a selection of like small metal darts. They don't look like they've got any kind of feathering. They're literally just like bits of metal you throw at people, but you have used them as part of mining for climbing, because this isn't like a tunnel and then you get to a bit. It's tunnels under glaciers tend to have quite steep drop-offs. There's lots of climbing and ropes and rigging. So, yeah.
Can I say it's not on my character sheet, but can we assume that as I've been working as a miner, I have kind of grappling ropes, hooks,
yes, of course.
A pickaxe?
Totally fine. Yeah, of course
cool.
you do.
I will grab
got the
those.
illusion of being a miner, don't you? Yeah. Good. Right. You're having breakfast with Kenna briefly, Prosperous. Anything you want to say in the 5 minutes?
Stay safe. Keep up morale.
Yeah, I'm really good at those things. Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Doing great. See that troll? It didn't even land a hit.
Yeah, it's a bit scary.
Oh, was it?
It's bigger than you, and it tried to bite you and Sorry, I know you're pretty tough, but
usually it's just me and a whole lot of farmers. So I guess usually I'm the one who has to not be scared of anything. So usually there's nobody there to help. So it's nice being here with loads of people who are like, yeah, I'm gonna throw fire at the thing, even if the fire doesn't actually hit the thing. It's nice to have people there who are trying.
Yeah, and that lady that miner lady's really
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it.
Okay, sorry, I was slightly more worried, but it sounds like you've got this.
That should be fine. Just, don't let them stop feeding people up here.
Okay. Cool. Lovely. Do you kiss her goodbye?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, slight awkwardness from her, not quite sure where the lines are yet. It's all sort of yay. Oh.
See you in a bit with some more people, hopefully.
Okay. See you in a bit.
Cool.
Milk, Ash, I'm guessing you're going back into the central tent to check in. All the Brotherhood members are coming back in with you. There's about, as I said, plus you two, there's another 5 members of the Brotherhood here, 5 lower ranked wizards who are part of the Brotherhood. And as they all move back in with them, with the 2 of you into the central tent, Raoul, who Ash you know quite well, leans into all of you and they go, sounds like they dug in a little, sounds like they got a bit further, which is great, but this may be the breakthrough as well as being something we should look out for the miners, I guess, but it's a good start.
This is one of the reasons why I want to go personally.
Oh, you're going?
Yes, to verify the success of our efforts and the safety of our people.
Who's in
If we
charge?
found something, we can clear the camp quickly.
Yeah, who's in charge?
While I'm gone.
Yeah. All 5 of the members of the Milk, potentially 2, are all just
Ooh. My authority stands while I'm gone. We expect to be back in. Is it reasonable to say we expect to be back in
a couple hours? Yeah.
Yeah. With it, yeah. We expect to be back in a few hours. If we're not back in 6 hours, there's a letter in the locked drawer on my desk. Raoul, you know where to find the key. This contains my instructions. Should we not return in that time?
They all nod. You can roll insight checks if either of you can roll insight checks if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
I will. I will.
Receipt. Raoul isn't gonna just change the letter.
Oh no, wait. 14.
14.
22.
Milk. Yeah, whatever. Ash, you're aware of the Brotherhood's reputation for infighting and the social dynamic of the Brotherhood is what it is. Wizards don't tend to trust each other. These 5 don't trust each other but they don't trust you, but they don't trust each other either.
Right.
And you can be pretty sure that mutually assured distrust will leave this ship afloat.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I trust my instructions will be followed, and if I find out they have not been followed to the letter, I will deal with it when I return.
Oh, Raoul looks at the other four and goes, "Oh, don't worry, I'll make sure that they're followed." Gives you a sort of supportive nod. That's also very much I'm stepping into the authority space.
Yeah. I will give it a less enthusiastic nod. I'll give them a less enthusiastic nod back, and I'll return the gesture, but definitely try and dial it back a little bit to not just.
Well, let's have a performance check for this, I think.
All right.
If you update your underlings, Ash, this is what happens.
We don't know, do we? Is there a chance of that being exposed just simply by their tone? Do you think?
I think it's a secret to no one that Ash and Raoul are
bunking.
Yeah. It's an 11 on the performance check.
Oh, Milk, you're right there to see this. Ash is trying to downplay, but having Raoul's support is clearly like useful in this. Like, it's not. Yes, underling, do what I tell you. It's, I know I can trust you. Like, there's a chink in the armor.
Yeah, noted.
What are you doing? What are you doing all of this?
I'll be standing slightly as part of this group, kind of enjoying that emotional tension, and B, I mean, paying attention to what Ash is doing definitely, and how this leadership is being manifest. If I have to voice it, I don't know if I did, but I will elect that. Yes, no, obviously it's essential that I come with you on this, Ash, in a support capacity. Obviously, you are very much in charge. I am the boot, as it were. You are very much the foot in this scenario, but nevertheless, mutual interests and all. But yeah, otherwise, yeah.
I didn't even consider trying to talk you out of it. I'm sure that your own interests will be well served by verifying this for yourself.
You are a sweetheart. We do have a slight question, of course, which is if the miners have stumbled too far into too much knowledge, shall we say, have we a strategy for managing the fallout of unwanted information?
You mean making sure that no one knows?
If indeed they have been exposed to knowledge which they should not have.
We'll deal with it when we come to it.
As you suggest.
Just check. Definitely not the baddies, right? We've been through this.
Yeah. Not the baddies.
Lovely. As you're preparing and getting ready, the other members will leave the tent. You recognize, and Milk, you're well aware of Kolbeck's ability to do this, but Ash, you're once again slightly shook. The Goliath, who was getting involved in the fighting briefly, has been standing at the back of the tent with their arms crossed, just watching all of this. Kolbeck's he/him, isn't he? Red? Who decided this? Yeah. He walks over to the desk where you are presumably preparing and says, "If you need, which one would you like to have in an authority position?"
Who is this to, sorry?
To you. To Ash.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was to Milk for some reason. Yes,
no.
I was just staring into space.
No, Kolbeck works for you. And he is, just to be clear, a Goliath rogue, we're going to call for now. And he's your handler. You are fully aware that if push comes to shove, he is loyal to you because he works for the same very powerful wizard, and definitely not lich, that you work for as part of the Arcane Brotherhood, where there are separate factions. He's in your faction.
I'd rather have them at each other's throats if it seems like they are not, if their checks and balances aren't working.
If necessary, disinformation is just as good.
Yes, I would prefer it that way. There's no reason to annoy those outside the camp, if possible.
Understood.
I prefer no one, if possible, but Raoul can be trusted in the short term.
Okay. Turns, starts to go. Looks across at Milk and gives Milk a really, like, in your eye line, Ash, a really, like, insouciant wink, just like a, yeah, we all know what's going on there, and just walks out.
I do not let my displeasure show on my face. There's a lot of that going around.
Are you just both prepping? Do you pop back to your tent and grab some things?
I don't, unless this was just a 5-minute thing, right? This is not
just getting ready. Very brief.
Then I'm pretty set. I'm just going to head back out and sort of order people loudly, just more for the look of the thing. Deal with those trolls, somebody. Move that. Keep the meat. We might need it. You don't loiter. Carry on.
Don't eat troll meat. Jesus.
Troll meat.
Milk, as you are pointing at this, some of the other miners who've been sort of helping out move the bodies and things point at the troll and go, I'm no expert on trolls, but is that normal? Where the trolls have been cut and bleeding, a strange black, thick, viscous, oozy substance that doesn't look like troll blood to you is oozing out of the wounds slightly.
I will walk up and cautiously investigate it, just with my eyes, as it were.
Roll me an investigation check.
That's a 3.
Do you touch it?
No, but I might persuade Melinoe to have a closer look at it. I think that's probably wiser. She's a bit more expendable.
Mm-hmm. She floats off your shoulder and floats down towards it. Doesn't touch it. Can Melinoe roll me an Arcana check, please?
She can. 1 sec. 15.
15. Telepathically, you get back. Oh, don't touch that.
I will tell the underlings who are around us, yes, maybe leave this, maybe back away, maybe
Tell
fetch me. Burn it. Yes. Might be although maybe we should take a sample, don't you think, Mel? Like just in case.
Milk.
Like, yes.
Trust me.
I mean, I do implicitly. I don't think there's any conflicting loyalties between you and the aliens in my face at all. But I'm just going to take a quick sample. If I have, I don't know.
You can take a sample if you like. Sure.
Okay. If there's a safe way of doing that, then I'll do that.
There is a safe way of doing it without touching it. You use a sample kit. You'll have, considering your job, considering what you do around camp. Yes, you have a sample kit. You take some of it and scrape it into a small glass jar. And it doesn't fall like liquid should. It has a very strange viscosity, almost like it's animate.
I'm almost drawn to it, but I will tell the others: burn these, burn them until there's nothing left, and I'll slide the other thing in my pocket for the time being.
We may have an unexpected ally.
Oh, good. I do love an adventure. Anything more you can add at this point, Mal?
Strange psychic energy. Haven't experienced it in a while.
Is it likely to cause harm here, do you think? Are these people in immediate danger?
Yes.
Okay.
But don't tell anyone.
I mean, I might have to tell them a little bit. We are working together. I don't think I can keep all of these secrets.
This isn't necessarily so much a secret as it is an unfolding situation.
Well, I insisted I be allowed to make my own decisions, Melinoe.
You can, of course, do whatever you like.
But please let me know if the price of my actions will be things hatching out of my face. You understand? Like, there's always a line.
They're good and ready.
Okay. Burn these. Come on, Mel.
People are burning. Your octopus lands back on your shoulder. And as you all congregate together to move off, that's where we'll pick up after our break. Sorry for running slightly long, everyone. New character intros, they take time. So join us again in about 5-10 minutes for the second half of our first adventure, Icewind Dale Corrupted. Thank you.
Oh, that was good.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Icewind Dale Corrupted, Part 2, Episode 1. Great. Let's go. Without further ado, our party are assembling at the entrance to the ice tunnels beneath the Reghead Glacier at the far end of their camp in the Howling Ravine, trying to get themselves ready to go and find some miners who apparently have been either trapped by a cave-in, attacked by trolls, or all of the above. You don't know. So, all of you are congregating by the Palisade Gate, which is the wooden fence that blocks off the end of this tunnel, so nasties can't necessarily run straight in, although that didn't work in the first half of the episode. As you're all congregating by the Palisade Gates, there is a shrine in the wood of the gate. It has been built literally into it, placed next to it. It is a wooden, looks like a flaming sword, but it's all carved out of wood. It looks like it was originally carved into the Palisade Gate and has now been embellished and updated and made in the last 2 weeks a bit more, shriny. And the wood of the shrine is already starting to get slightly burnished by the number of hands stroking it for luck as people walk past it into there. It's a symbol of Tempos. Tempos is the Reghead nomads who live around here's version of Tempus, who is one of the gods you'd all be aware of, god of war. And most of the miners who you didn't bring with you from Luskan, Ten Towns, etc., are locals who've worked with the camp. So standing next to this, you're all congregating. Ash, you didn't say what you were going to bring with you. And some of the things you bring with you are undead, so let's go through what you're bringing with you.
Yeah, there's only a few small adjustments. I'll bring the 2 skeletons that were with me before, along with the third of my skeletons of my total number of undead. I'd marked off a spell slot before, but I'm just assuming that I cast a spell at the beginning of the day to keep the undead in line. So I've already checked that off. That should be covered. And the ones that I'm leaving are probably tucked safely somewhere in the tent that people won't normally go, in case there is an issue with me not coming back, so no one is left in immediate danger by them.
So, as described, your tent has 2 levels because it's a magic tent. So, are they up in your living quarters, basically?
They'll be up in the and Raoul should be the only one who goes up there, and they know better than to. Well, they know about the risk if I'm not back, so that should be relatively safe.
Sure.
And I'll kit the skeletons out with their short bows as well, so they're pretty dressed up slightly for the fact that they're not doing clerical work currently.
Do you put them in armor?
Yeah, I think that's supported by the stat block as well. So yeah, I think they'll have some rudimentary leather armor.
Great. So you've got 2 skeletons with short bows and short swords that are traveling with you. Everyone else, you are all congregating. Anyone else got anything particular they want to highlight they're bringing with them, or is it all 5 of you just assembling? Yep, cool. In which case, all of you assemble by the gate. What is the plan? Who's going to make the plan?
I mean, we're going down the tunnel, right?
Yes, but in character.
Let's move quickly. I want this done fast. If there are people in there, we get them out, we find what they've discovered, and we get them back to camp. Everything afterwards, we can reconsider our options when we are safely together and we know what the situation is. Any questions?
Well, not to, just contradict everything you've just said, but for some of us, that fight was quite hard work, and I feel like maybe having a quick rest now would be better than, while there's fire and warmth, might be slightly better than down a tunnel waiting for some ice trolls and a cave-in.
How arduous is the journey down to the tunnel, Chris, and how long will it take?
To get down to the excavation point, you will be traveling down a sort of wide open tunnel that is basically the base of the ravine. That then starts splitting off into smaller tunnels. You know where they were going. You know which smaller tunnel to go down. Once you go down that smaller tunnel, you will get into a shear inside the glacier, which is quite hard to traverse. It's got various ropes and handholds built into it for the miners to continue down. So you have to go down that shear as well to get to more tunnels beneath. The tunnels you get to beneath that shear have now been excavated by the miners who you've hired, by the miners in this camp. So they are a bit better supported, a bit more stable, a bit more able to be traversed quickly. It's a roughly hour to 2 hour journey, depending on how quickly you get down the shear, primarily. And as far as you know, and as far as anyone else knows at this point, that route has been relatively safe for a couple of days. When you first got to the shear, there were a couple of, ice toads, things like that, like nothing too dangerous, and most of them, because the beasts frankly ran off when, real effort started being placed on dealing with them. So
I don't think we can spare the time. I'm out in character. I'm like, yeah. It's like, yes, I would love to take a short rest. All of us. Anyone going to back me up on that or not? Or contradict me?
I'll agree. And being psychic, I'm just going to message Ashra and just say we don't have the time. I suspect things are worse down there than we thought.
I've kind of already said that we don't have time before the break.
Let's go. Yeah.
Ivy's just gonna, if things are as urgent and as deadly as they sound, then maybe having people with full capacity to fight might be helpful. But you know best. Absolutely, you are the only ones here with experience of fighting. I'm just a minor. So let's go. Quiet. Although, of course, Miss Beckett, I forgot you didn't expend any strength in that fight at all. So absolutely, let's go.
I'm gonna let that one slide.
I think you're the only one who actually would, apart from Red, who gets one spell slot. I think you're the only one who gets anything back on a short rest at the moment.
Well, I mean, I could do one, but.
Oh, Rebecca knows.
I think
Rebecca understands D&D mechanics. Ivy wants a rest.
Cool. In which case, as you start heading down the tunnels, what's the marching order, please?
I guess probably.
Characterfully, I'd put myself as near the front as I can get away with. But
I've been down here. I've been down here before as a guide. I'll go at the front.
Okay, Prosper at the front.
I'll try and walk as parallel with Prosperous as possible to make it seem like I'm not ceding too much authority, but also respecting that Prosperous does have a lot of sway here.
Cool. And your skeletons, I'm going to presume, are following with you, Ash, or are they spread out more as one at the front, one at the back? What are you doing?
Probably pretty close to me.
Okay.
Probably just a row immediately behind.
Okay, so there's Big Paladin and Squish Wizard at the front, and then 2 skeletons behind backing up. What's everyone else doing?
I'll stay relatively near the back. I know, but yeah, no, Victor kind of tails at the back.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Ivy, Milk?
Ivy will have naturally moved to the front as the minor and the sneaky one, and then gone, of course, absolutely, and gone to the back.
Milk will try and secure himself somewhere in the middle and will transform himself to look like whatever diminutive size he can get away with for an ice troll.
Nice.
Good use of Mask of Many Faces there. A humanoid-sized troll is walking next to you, Ivy.
Love it.
Cool. You all move down into the tunnels. This snowfall, this slight avalanche on the side of the tunnel is still there. About half of the tunnel is blocked by it. It has started to freeze into place and is now rapidly becoming impassable. So the tunnel is now at the point where you need to get through. At the point to go further in is only about 5 feet wide. So you have to go into single file briefly to get through that point. But as you get through that point and reconnect, you are all moving down through this tunnel. It's pure ice around here. There's no stone, nothing like that. It is just tunneling directly into the ice at this point.
Please, after you.
I'm going to cast Mage Armor and then proceed. As I hadn't done that yet.
Ash, you're a human. Can you see in the dark?
Nope. Jenny, that was one of the things that was like, having skeletons carry torches seems like a good idea.
Okay, the skeletons are carrying torches.
Because you said there was some on the walls of the this part of the bit outside the camp.
Yeah.
So if I hadn't grabbed some back in camp, I had 2 of them carry torches.
Okay, are they going ahead of you? I'm presuming that they are.
That seems sensible, actually, yes.
Okay, so the skeletons go ahead and then Ash follows behind and you all make your way through the slight bottleneck. It now means that you are lit at the front of your party so you can see in front of you what's going on. Going deeper and deeper into the ice as you move past this slight impasse and then move down further into the big old... This tunnel is naturally formed. It's not a perfect circle or anything like that. It looks like a ravine where the top of it's caved in slightly and this has sort of held its shape. And as you move down, there's always a faint dripping in the glacier because the water is slowly melting over time. So you do get the sort of vague, eerie, dripping noises in the dark as you move forward. You can only see about 20 to 40 feet ahead of you. Those with dark vision can see past, and it's just ice tunnels ahead of you. You can easily follow the footprints of the miners ahead of you as you move down through these tunnels, through the cold. As you all move further ahead, the tunnel reaches the end of the natural tunnel, and it splits off into various smaller tunnels, which some of these were dug by the miners to try and get a better idea. And you also pass by one of these strange areas where you realize sort of what you're digging for. Some of you have seen this before. Most of you are aware of what you're looking for. Some of you are not. On the ground, part of this base here, there's a stone, what looks like a floor or a wall. It's very hard to tell. The carving on it is quite intricate and has a lot of right angles at strange patterns and designs. For our modern eye, it would look a little like a circuit board. But this stone floor or wall with metal placed into the stone and melted and placed into the stone in places. Very, very intricate design as you're moving past it and moving down. Can I check for the record? Ash and Milk obviously are fully aware what you're digging for as part of this. Does anyone else know? Has anyone else asked? Are there rumors? What would people like to have in character? Victor?
Victor doesn't really know where to begin with this. Mm-hmm. Victor has seen it around, but seeing as he hasn't come to the tent yet, like, it's none of my business till he asks.
Okay.
He's seen weird stuff before. This is just more weird stuff that, frankly, he doesn't want to get into.
Cool. Okay. Ivy?
I think she's gone for very much don't know, don't care. She will, if people are gossiping about it, she'll join in and go, aha, interesting. But, she's not going to attract people's attention.
You would have heard as part of the gossip, other miners talking about the fact that the Brotherhood is digging down here means it's probably something magical and something a bit strange. The Arcane Brotherhood is widely renowned for being very interested in magical things and looking for old magic, strange magic, that sort of thing. Some of them have even worked with the Brotherhood before, and this is not unlike things they've dug for before. The word Netheril has floated around as and you are aware of Netheril as a strange culture of very, very powerful wizards that vanished thousands and thousands of years ago. And you're smart enough to have put two and two together that this is probably what's being dug for, but you don't know anything more than that. Beyond rumor of maybe there's a buried city or something like that. You don't really know. Prosperous?
I'm not really here because of the dig. I'm here because there are people here who need protecting. So I've seen it because I've been down here, but I'm not interested in what they're digging for. I'm here because people need protecting. Cool.
Kenna will have tried to gossip with you about it. What would your response have been to the beginnings of gossiping about it?
I mean, I will listen to her talk about it, but I have no interest in what it actually is in terms of it as a thing.
What Kenna will have said and you will have picked up on is everyone's talking about these buried cities, but Kenna's people believe that there is something buried beneath the ice. It's part of their mythos, part of their history of the glacier, is that the glacier is there to protect the world from what was buried beneath, which she laughed off as it's probably bullshit. My people are really superstitious, and described as the devourer.
Did she laugh it off as did she actually believe that?
No, she left her tribe to go to 10 towns to try and see more of the world and get out of these mindsets of strange myth and belief. And but some of the other miners have been quite worried about it, quite scared. Hence the Tempest symbology on the tunnel. Tempest protect us.
I have vaguely listened to her talk about it, but
cool. That's enough.
If she doesn't believe it, it's.
The five of you are making your way down past this strange stone part of the floor, and as you've moved past it down into the tunnel, There is now some stone in places, some like almost gravel in places. Like you're now getting to the point where the glacier is probably grinding against the base of the ground, the base of the Icewind Dale at certain points. It stops being pure ice and starts being more of ice and rock interchanged with each other occasionally. So the tunnel is a lot more strange to traverse. It's not a naturally formed tunnel. This area has been, where it's been dug out, has not really been built in with supports because there's no need. But as you move forward, the tunnel stops being straight. It starts being higgledy-piggledy and goes off at strange angles in places. You have to sort of climb over and around to get past this bit. There are ropes and handles in places, and the occasional like bit of wood places a platform over a sort of rocky bit. So it's starting to look a bit more like you're underneath the ground and really digging your way down. And once again, the sound down here is it's very quiet. You don't hear anything, no echoes, just dripping occasionally, and the sound of your own footsteps.
Who are keeping an eye out for anything unusual? Because like, it's not been dangerous down here before, but also there were not ice trolls down here before.
This is true. You can be having passive perceptions as active as you like, or you can be using actions to roll perception checks. It's perfectly fine by me if you want to be. In fact,
we're not using them for anything else. So
if you'd like to have perception check, everyone can roll me one, and that can be your perception check for the journey for now, basically.
Don't be terrible.
Oh dear.
19.
19 Prosperous. Okay, keeping a beady eye at the front.
12.
17.
12 for Ashra. 17. Ivy's also keeping a close eye on what's looking around at detailing.
12 for Victor.
Victor. Yep. You and Ashra both sort of, yep, it's path. Milk.
My passive is 15, but my roll was 10.
Okay. Are you distracted somewhat?
Possibly. I mean, are there any signs of life down here? Any kind of telepathic utterances?
Well, as you're moving down through this space, you also start to feel, and you've not been down into the dig before. You had no reason to go down into the dig because they hadn't found anything yet. Like some pieces of the ancient crashed Netherese city, you're aware that that's what you're looking for, and you knew that they were finding things, but your job largely has to do with things that get brought back up to the surface. So if someone brings back a piece, like a part of that wall was broken off and brought to you for research and that sort of thing, but you've not been down here. And as you move down further into the ice, you do start getting a weird psychic hum, like what would almost be referred to as interference, strangely. Like it's a weird feeling. And from your experience of weird psychic creatures, because you'd have 3 in your head and 1 as your buddy, this is normally a sign of great like psychic power, of something that might be trying to reach out.
So it would suggest an entity, like a life form.
Potentially. It could also be an object. It could also just be an essence or something that is left here. Psychic ghosts are a thing as well that you're aware of. Actually, roll me an Arcana check. Let's give you a proper dive in.
Thing. A 9 for my Arcana check.
Yeah, you're still piecing it together.
Okay. But I don't sense threat, do I?
No. If anything, this weird psychic interference, this hum, feels very welcoming to you.
Okay, then I'll keep that to myself.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Prosperous, you had a 19 and you're at the front. Ash, you had a 12 and you're basically at the front as well. As the two of you move forward, you can see that most of what because you've been down here before, Prosperous, and Ash probably hasn't been personally down here for a while, but was at the beginning, show face, that sort of thing. It looks much the same as you left it. There's the occasional, like, looking around you, you can see the occasional like blood splatter on the wooden planks or up against a wall, but unless you stop to look at it more carefully,
I'll inspect one of the splatters. I won't spend ages on it, but I want to get a brief sense of like, is it like troll blood, something else, or and what is it? The sign of someone who's injured and moved this way, or signs of a fight. Or something.
Roll me an investigation check, please.
Okay. Okay. 21.
21. It looks like blood, someone running away, and remembering Tim was wounded a little, you can possibly put 2 and 2 here together about where it's come from.
Okay. I won't remark on this to anyone else.
No. Okay. As you all continue to move forward through the icy tunnels and make your way down into the dig site, you realize that you are making your way through, not just through the rock, but you're starting to reach the Ice Shear. For those who are unaware, and that's perfectly fair, an ice shear is when ice is moving under a glacier and creates sort of a strange pocket of air, and it creates a pocket of air normally between ice and whatever's underneath it, so rock. And you reach the edge of this, and curving down from you at quite a steep angle is a sort of cut through the ice. You can see up into it, and it appears to reform, the ice appears to regrow at the top, but there's a sort of rocky, almost gravelly embankment below where the stone has been ground down by the glacier for years, but there is a sort of very thin gap you can slide through. There are pitons, mostly in the ice because it's more secure than the rock, and there's a rope that's been tied through it that leads down into the shear, but you're walking, it's difficult terrain for anybody, and moving at any speed would require athletics checks not to fall over because the ground is very unstable here.
Okay.
What's everyone
Ivy, what's the
doing?
procedure here?
We go down the crack into the dark. Would you like me to show you how it's done?
I was meaning if people rope themselves together, or what is the safety protocol?
Absolutely not. If we rope ourselves together and one dies, we all die.
Very well.
You see the pitons in the ice and the rope. They should stand. They've withheld all of us so far. Test each one before committing your whole weight to it. Don't go too quickly, and shout if you need help.
And what is on the other side?
The next bit of the tunnel.
When you get to the bottom, there is a tunnel beneath the ice at this point. Once the shear finishes, the tunnel keeps going. It does go down, but it also goes further along. There's also some artifacts down there. Some things were discovered down there that led people to push further at this point. That tunnel opens out into more of this strange stone and metal, almost like a stone and metal corridor, almost like you found part of whatever it is people are digging for here. So you know that once you get to the bottom, there is a very obvious way to go.
That.
If I go just before you, I might be able to help if you need it.
Chris, can I ask a mechanics question?
Only if you want a mechanics answer.
I do. The mobile feat means that if I dash, difficult terrain doesn't afford me any extra time. Mm-hmm. Does this mean I can just dash through the scree?
What it would mean is that you could effectively climb down this very, very quickly and safely. So what I'll say is it's partly it's partly that kind of monk ability. I'm actually very dexterous and lithe and able to do quite amazing physical feats. It's also just very careful, very secure, knowing that walking down a scree, it's better to walk quickly than walk slowly. So if you walk slowly and there's a slide,
windmill and you fall.
You windmill and you fall. Whereas if you go down quickly using the rope as a guard, you can go straight down.
Great. Ivy will say, it feels counterproductive. You want to go fast. If you go slow, you'll topple over. Look, like this. And we'll go for it.
And using the rope, which is sort of slightly high because it goes down at a slight angle, you are holding and overhanding yourself down while moving down at quite some pace. You don't have dark vision of any kind, do you?
I could use the key points to cast it.
Okay, it's up to you. But as you move down into the dark, you quickly realize that you can't see anything at all. You know that at the bottom, when you get to the bottom of the scree, there are torches set at the bottom, and you can just about up ahead of you see the light of those torches, so you can orientate yourself in the right direction.
I've done it every day for 2 weeks. I'm not fussed about the dark.
So you start going down. What's everyone else doing?
I will go ahead of Ashra, because then if there are saving throws to be made, I'm within 10 feet.
In which case, you don't need to roll anything. You can just start going slowly. You're not going as fast as I
said. It would require an athletics check.
If you're trying to go quickly.
Oh, no.
In which case, you start slowly, start making your way down. Are you encouraging people to come close to you? Do you talk about how your abilities work?
Nope.
Okay.
I did say that I would go ahead so that if...
Yeah. I will...
people fall past you, I see.
Next.
Okay. You both start moving down at a more of a slow pace. You're not going super fast, but you are going at a reasonable, steady pace, trying to make sure. And the rocks do slide under your feet slightly, but you were told to expect this, and you're just holding yourselves as you go. You've got the rope sort of going down at a slight angle above you. The ceiling's very low here, so you are sort of hanging onto the rope and walking down at the same time. What do your skeletons do?
They'll probably follow me, or at the back if people are going promptly behind, but probably behind me.
Okay, they follow behind you, I suppose, and are now making their way down as well. They can't keep their torches and hold on in the same way. you tell them to extinguish them and put them in their packs?
Yeah, extinguish and stash because we'll need them when we're down. So I'll be going in the dark as well.
In which case, the tunnel is now completely dark. It's pitch black in here now. Those with dark vision can obviously see. Those without can't. Milk, you can't see in the dark, can you?
Oh, I can. I'm a tiefling.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so you can see. Are you following behind? I'm guessing Victor's going last because Victor's gone last for everything so far.
I will offer the treacherous climb down to Victor if Victor would like to go first. Absolutely.
After you.
Thank you very much. I'll climb after.
You start going after. That's fine. And Victor, I'm presuming you go last and.
Yeah, I start plodding down.
Mm-hmm. And you have dark vision, so you can see as well.
I do.
Ivy. Mm-hmm. As you're moving down the scree at quite some pace, at the bottom, where you can see the light spilling out of this tunnel in the side of the bottom of the scree pile, and in the side of this shear in the ice, you see movement. There's movement at the bottom.
Interesting. How far behind me is Prosperous?
Because you move 55 feet around with it, and it's no difficult terrain for you, Prosperous by this point, even if it's only one round, Prosperous would be half speed for you, 40 feet behind you.
Okay, and how far am I from the bottom?
The bottom. This climb is roughly 150 feet. By the time you've moved down to this point, I'm saying you're a third of the way down.
Okay. I would like to shadow step. Because that doesn't use key points, does it? That's just a monkey thing I can do.
Once per short rest, isn't it?
I didn't. Is it? I missed that.
I don't know. Tell me. How often can you do it? Can you just do it?
I thought I can just do it,
I think it's just
but I could have missed that.
No, it's fine. New character.
Yeah, whenever I'm in dim light or darkness doesn't cost me anything. Great. I would like to teleport up to Prosperous. So just 40 feet back up the rope.
Prosperous, as you're moving down, you have dark vision, yes?
I do, yes.
Out of the darkness, you see Ivy literally step out of a shadow, because you can see this process, and appear in front of you on the rope. It is disconcerting.
There's movement. I would suggest you all come, but really quietly. I'll check it out ahead and come back and tell you if we're going to go in all guns blazing, all bows firing, or run away. Okay?
I mean, we can't run away.
I mean, it is definitely an option. I'm really not into martyrdom. So
there are people down there who need us. We're not running away.
We are no use to them dead. We can absolutely argue about ethics. Not right now when there's a possible ambush.
You can run away if you want to.
Everyone is now stopped because you've all bumped into each other effectively and are all in a row up here.
What's going on?
Stay here.
They want to run away or they don't want to run away?
No. There's an echo of that shout as it echoes down into the sheer beneath you.
This is a lovely conversation. Stay here. Be quiet. I'll come back and tell you what sort of attacking you'd like to do. Okay? But I feel like knowing what we're walking into is quite handy. And I will teleport back 60 feet down the rope.
And again, you see Ivy, and I think those of you with dark vision, so not Ash, but everyone else is close enough to see Ivy literally disappear into darkness. Like, this isn't... You've now seen Ivy move like this a couple of times, and clearly not just a minor. Just for you all to have as characters. Like, so Ivy's definitely got something going on with her.
Do you need us to roll stealth checks?
If you've all, I think I need you all to roll particularly need you all to roll a stealth check now to just and take a moment. George, you have to roll stealth checks for your skeletons as well.
I do. That's exciting.
Oh boy.
I roll a disadvantage with no bonus.
Yeah.
Just so you're all
I
aware.
also roll at a disadvantage, but I do have a bonus.
I rolled a 2 and a 3.
Oh God. Okay.
Only I had passed without trace.
Shall I even bother?
That's an 11.
Okay. Good.
That's 26.
26 for Ivy. Cool.
16.
Got some good ones.
Oh, 15.
16. 15.
Sorry.
Shorge?
16 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Armando the skeleton gets a 16 as well. Kevin the skeleton gets an 18. Marcus the skeleton gets a 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, it's 3, not 2. Sorry, I had it as 2.
Yeah, they're all 3. Yeah.
3. Never mind. Cool. So as you all stand in the scree, there's like the stones move around you, and Ivy was right. Standing still in scree is very difficult, and you're all sort of struggling to keep your footing, and various bits of rock are falling down the sheer and clanging off the bottom slightly. Ivy, as you teleport forward and start moving down, you can hear behind you that your companions are struggling to remain quiet because it's very hard to stay still on a scree. And as you move down out of the light at the bottom, you can see something very peculiar moving out into the scree to look into the sheer to look up. It's a almost insectoid creature. You don't recognize it. It has a blue carapace. It's very big. It looks like it's probably as big as the tunnel it's moving out of. In game terms, it is large. And it's moving out, and this strange triangular face with the eyes sort of up here and fronds and stalks is just looking up and around the sheer, and you can hear the sort of strange chittering as it moves forward. You can also see where it steps on the ground, where there is ice, there's a faint and a strange amount of like steam or smoke coming off it and the ground where it is stepping.
Can I use insight or something to see if it looks to be going about its business or a threat?
Insight, I think, makes sense. Why not? Let's use insight.
Oh, he's cocked. 21.
This looks like you don't know if it looks like a natural creature. It doesn't look like it's magically been summoned to do evil. It looks like it probably lives in environments like this. And looking at it as it moves out, it looks like it doesn't look like it's here to guard or watch. It just looks like it's arrived here and is trying to work out what is going on. You get from your insight check of that it's not an intelligent creature. It is sentient, but it is not, planning, thinking. It is just doing. Okay,
and it's got still like teeth, claws, dangerous things.
It has quite a lot of pedipalps and things like that around the top, and lots of legs, but it is just like a millipede moving forward, and it's definitely heard noise in the sheer, so it's going to start slowly moving up the sheer. As it does, it looks like it's burrowing almost into the sheer and just digging in and using its ability to climb, basically to move up the sheer in the direction of the noises it heard, which is in your direction as well. You're still stealth, it doesn't know that you're there.
I would like to dash back up and arrive back and go.
If you're dashing, then you can make me a stealth check to move. You can still teleport if you want to. That hasn't changed.
Yes, but a teleport only takes me 60 feet, but a dash, if I double dash, is 110, right?
Yes, it's difficult terrain, so it would be 55 feet.
Mobile.
Yeah.
Difficult terrain doesn't take me... It does something, right?
Are you trying to be stealthy about this?
I don't think so, because it's already heard us. It's coming our way.
Okay, then you just peg it. Yeah, of course it is. You just peg it. You need to make an athletics check to not fall, because running up and down scree is difficult.
Right, I did that. That is a blah, 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 17.
Cool. You scramble back up, and stones are falling, and the creature behind you is now aware of you, and from the tunnel it came out of, you don't see this, but there is a second one making its way out.
Lovely.
And they are both now moving up the scree using their burrow speed to go quite fast and are running up behind you as you sprint back to where everyone else is balanced awkwardly on this scree.
Cool. As I arrive, I will go, right, incoming giant insect. Doesn't look, possessed or designed to kill us, but also looks like it could kill us and is hungry. So have fun. From
below, you can all hear this sort of horrible chitinous chittering movement as these two creatures, still invisibly, because for those of you who can't see in the dark, who can see in the dark, they're too far away, and for those who can't see in the dark, no, you can just hear this sort of chittering claws and grinding of the stone as these things move up the scree towards you.
I will use an action to channel divinity, and the blade of my scythe starts glowing, emits bright light for 20 feet and dim light for 20 feet beyond that.
Very
brilliant.
Nice.
You light up your scythe. How are you letting go? Are you holding it with one hand, letting go of the guide rope?
Letting go with both hands.
Okay.
Digging in.
Okay, you dig in, your feet, more scree falls down, and you hold it. In the glowing light, you can't see these creatures yet, but you can hear it, and you can now see around yourselves. You're in a sort of I'm going to say a roughly 45 to 50 degree angle, and it goes diagonally down. So it is a rather strange terrain for fights, just to be clear with everybody. But Prosperous, you have lit up, and now everyone can see if necessary.
Correct.
What would everyone like to do? We can do initiative rolls and dive into this, or you've probably still got a couple of quote-unquote rounds before they get even close enough to be seen.
I can see them. Are they 60 feet away?
They're not 60 feet away yet, no.
I can't see them.
No. You can just hear them for now, and it's grisly, and that sort of horrible, like, clicking insect noises in the dark, like, oof.
Can I, if I moved 30 feet forward...
Make an athletics check. With disadvantage, you're not holding onto the rope.
That's a 19.
19. You just chonk your way down, move your way forward, and on the edges of your glowing light, you can now see the feelers and feet as one of the first of these is now moving into visibility and moving straight towards you. You're lit up like a beacon. It's just like now very excited to get to you. As you've moved forward, that was movement. Go on.
Can I use the scythe to cast Sunbeam at it?
Yeah, you can. Wow, they don't need to roll initiative at all. Right.
And it's a line. Would it catch both of them?
You can't see you can't see the other one. I'll make a random roll and see.
Okay. It's a 5 foot wide, 60 foot long line.
In which case, wow. Has anyone seen Prosperous do this before? Do you think? No. Prosperous's scythe glows with golden light, and then describe how this happens.
Just like I point it straight, and it just.
Does it go out the top of the scythe's blade's curve? Does it go out?
It goes out from the handle.
Oh, from the handle. Okay, yeah. So you just like a firearm. Yeah.
Oh God.
It's intensely bright. All of you get an ooh as it's so bright, and this beam of light just sears out ahead.
It needs to make every creature in the line needs to make a con saving throw.
Okay, hang on. I'm just going to check and see if you hit the other one. You do hit the other one. You hit both of them.
No.
That the con saving throws, that is a 5 and a 14.
Neither of them pass. They're both blinded.
Yep.
And they both take 68.
68.
68.
6 8-sided dice. Not 68.
That one's covered. Just again. Right, okay. Oh shit, maths. 14, 16, 20, 21, 26 points of damage, and they're both blinded.
26 points of damage each as this beam of searing light hits one, and you hear a horrible screech, and then another horrible screech as this beam of light just, and you all get a brief glimpse down this scree and can see that there are two of them half burrowing, half moving up the scree towards both you, both shrieking as they get hit by this beam of blinding light. I think now it's fair to say everyone roll initiative, please.
Yes.
I don't know how long they're blinded for.
On Sunbeam, how long are they blinded for?
Well, technically concentration, but who's concentrating on it?
In which case, a round.
Cool.
Only blind for a round. Doesn't matter, they have tremor sense anyway. Cool. So have initiative rolls, please, everyone.
5.
Also 5.
Hey.
12 for me.
Hang on. 5. 12 was another one shouted out and I missed it. What else we got?
7.
18.
18. Yeah, fitting.
+5. It's great.
Monks. Good. Right. Ivy, what do you want to do as this beam of light sears down and just cuts through this? You all sort of have a brief blink after image, but then again, it's very dark in this tunnel, and those of you that don't have dark vision will struggle.
It's not. It's lit up from my scythe. You
have the scythe, and just on the edge of that, the light from that scythe, you can just about see one of these creatures flailing and screeching. What do you want to do, Ivy?
I might make 2 ranged attacks with my darts.
Okay. Are you... Technically, you're attacking. You can hold one with one hand to make sure you don't fall, and then throw 2. That's fine.
If that's all right.
Yes, it is.
Great. That is a nat 20.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that hits.
A 24.
Both of them hit, yes.
Gorgeous. These are less powerful than my fist. That's a shame.
Correct.
Never mind. So that's 3d4 plus 10. Oh, that's nice. For 17 points damage.
You chuck 2 of your darts, and they both impact this creature's. As they both hit into the creature, and it shrieks again. You can see that it's starting to have where it's been hit, it's starting to smoke and spit, almost like its blood is boiling. You are currently up with Prosperous moved ahead, so you're behind Prosperous at this point. Are you planning on moving at all?
Yeah, I will move to flank Prosperous to kind of with the vague intention of being able to grab her.
Now you're now stepping out of the line of where this line of rope is, but you don't need the rope to be comfortable because of difficult terrain, because of motionless. That's fine. So you run up next to Prosperous and plant yourself. Where Prosperous is planted in the scree, you're sort of balancing slightly more, and you're next to her in case she falls, right?
Pretty much, if within grapple go. I don't know quite how much I could stop her from falling because I'm half orc in full armor, but we'll see.
Yeah. The creature, Remoraz, a young Remoraz, is going to come scuttling forward, just shrieking and moving forward, climbing up the scree, and it is sort of digging the scree out when Scree's just falling like mad. It's just moving up. It can use its action to dash. It's going to get right up in Prosperous's face and close to Ivy, but it's really quite worried about Prosperous. You made the sun come, and they live under the ice. And it's going to. It has tremor sense, so it can still see where it's going. It doesn't matter if it's blinded, and it is going to come straight up towards Prosperous to attack, but can't on this turn because it is not fast enough. From behind, in the beam of light, you can see the second one now also skittering up, and it's now within 30 feet of Ivy and Prosperous. It's moved in to range at this point. Prosperous, what would you like to do?
I'm going to make 2 attacks. Because I've got my Channel Divinity up, my to hit is now 14.
Wow.
Thank goodness. Right, that's an 18 and a
31.
31.
They both hit.
Wow.
Yeah, paladins.
How many spell slots do I have? How bad does it look?
The Remoraz?
Yeah.
It's not under half hit points yet.
Shit. I'm gonna keep my spell slots. I'm gonna keep them. Don't have that many left. So that is, I can reroll 1s and 2s. Right, 10, 14, 17, add 12, 27, 29 points of damage on both those hits.
Yep, you strike out twice and chop through the Remoraz. Please take...
Do I get to make a save?
No, it is just that hot. Yep, so it's 4d6.
Oof.
You take 18 points of fire damage as its burning, boiling blood splashes around you as you cut twice, and it's searing hot. And where it hits the ice of the shear above you, that ice is melting in places as well.
Okay.
It is, and it's also melting the ice shear by sheer coexistence with it. It is a hot bod. Right, Prosperous, you have a bonus action.
Oh, I have a bonus action. No, I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
You have movement, but it will...
No, I'll stay there.
Yeah, cool. Right, you stay where you are. Oh, we've lost George. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, there was vacuuming happening. It's very hard to hear.
That's quite all right. Right, so you stand your ground and cut it twice, and you don't move. Milk, you are behind quite a few skeletons and Ash. You can see you're in the edge of the vision here. You can see what's going on in front. You can see how the process is glowing, and you can see just about both of the creatures. What do you want to do?
Do I have a clear line of sight to the creature that's just been smashed by dear Prosperous?
Because of everyone being in a line on this screen, because the creature moved up in a line, I'm going to say you'd have to move, which is quite dangerous, to get full line of sight, or you can fire with some cover.
5, with some cover. Oh, that's difficult from here. Oh, tricky. And the one that was just smashed by Dear Prosperous, does that look at all upset by the occasion yet?
Yeah, that one looks very unhappy. I mean, its carapace is cut open by the scythe in various places, and this hot, steaming, almost boiling blood is now spilling around all over the place.
Okay, cool. Then I'll run just the bare minimum to give myself clear line of sight and...
Roll me an athletics check.
That's not my favourite. Oh, that's a 7.
You try and step up to try and give yourself a bit of room, but as you step onto the scree, you sink into it slightly, you lose your footing, and you fall. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 7 as well.
You see Milk fall out of the light and start falling down the scree. So, with a couple of bumps and scrapes as you slide down the scree, you take 14 points of damage as you grind down the scree, and you're now a good 40 feet away from the rest of the party, fallen down this shear, and you've got rock all round you. You can see the bottom of the shear beneath you, and that's just where the rock and the ice rejoin. But you've fallen quite a long way.
So past all these events, they're all
now above you at an angle. Yes.
Okay.
You still have actions. Nothing's changed.
Oh, can I see them behind me?
Yeah, you can.
And it's 40 feet from the ground.
You are 40 feet from the Remorazes and Prosperous and Ivy. Yes.
Okay. And can I see the plateau at the bottom? Sorry.
There is no plateau at the bottom of the shear. It just closes again. The shear will then travel down at an angle to reach the bottom. You've fallen down the side of the shear, not down to the bottom of the shear.
Oh, God damn it. I will use my action to cast Fly on myself, I think, because I just can't handle this. This is way too intense.
You cast Fly on yourself and start floating out of the shear. You can now move with impunity. There's nothing stopping you. There's not a lot of space to fly, but you can just move around however you need.
That's fine, as long as I'm not slipping any further.
Yeah.
And those well, that was my action. Oh,
yes.
That's no, I'm good there then. Oh, are I within 120 feet of them?
You are within 120 feet of them, yes.
Then I'll just wait till my next turn.
Cool.
Thank you.
You cast Fly to stop yourself from falling, which is a use of Fly, no problem. Ash, you can now see, and you can see this creature that Prosperous is engaging with. What do you want to do?
It's a good question. You said it was quite badly hurt.
It looks quite badly hurt now. You can see the cracks in the carapace. You can see where the blood's pouring out of it. You can hear the screeching and the sizzling.
The temptation to use grammatical is high, but tempered by how that's gone so far. Mm-hmm. Do not want to seem incompetent in front of the group again, but also that would be a good way of restoring confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give it a go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's deal thunder damage. So again, taking the one hand on the rope, taking the gem out and holding it off. First level.
The skeletons are behind you. Yes, we said they went behind you.
Yeah.
In which case, you have clear line of sight. Yes.
Cool. Okay. Good. So I'm going to roll to hit.
Do it.
And you said it can currently see us effectively.
Yes.
Other senses. Okay. Cool.
Has tremor sense. Yeah.
That is an 18.
Yes, that hits. Your thunderball. Your thunderball flies out and impacts the Remoraz that's currently menacing Prosperous.
Ash tries as hard as possible not to fist pump it. Nope, my competence was always assured. And that's 14 points of thunder damage.
Excellent. There's a boom around you, Prosperous, as something impacts the Remoraz. It doesn't affect you at all, and it doesn't splash you more. Thank goodness, just when you attack it. But yes, it screeches again and looks like it's on its last legs. Like it's definitely sort of fallen in the scree slightly and just sort of looks broken and quite badly hurt.
Cool. And in my bonus action, I'll order the skeletons to. Oh, they'll have to let go of if they're stationary, not holding the rope, do they have to make athletics checks to stay?
If they're stationary, but how do you fire a bow and arrow one-handed?
As I'm saying, if they let go of the rope.
If they let go of the rope and are stationary and fire, that's fine. Yes, no problem.
I will have three of them do that then.
Okay, the first one all three of them technically have broken line of sight, so they have cover, so the monster has a slightly higher AC.
Okay.
Or they could try and walk.
I'll leave. I'd rather they stay where they were.
Okay.
even though it's less ideal. Okay, so that's 3. I'll just roll 3 together. They're all plus 4 to hit.
Okay.
They're rolling way better than I am. That is a 15, a 22, and a natural 20.
The 22 and the natural 20 hit. The 15 with the increased armor class because of cover does not.
And they will be dealing. They're each dealing D6 plus 2 normally, plus an additional 3 because of my wizard subclass necromancy ability.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is 1, 2. That's 3d6 plus some number that I'll figure out in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So 3d6 comes to 14, and they plus 5, so 24 points of damage from both shots. 2
arrows seek out and impact the Remoraz, and as they do, it collapses and starts rolling and falling down the scree. Milk, you have to move slightly as it slides down the scree towards you, and it just gets to the bottom. Its body is still very hot, and you can see it's melting the ice slightly where it hits, and then the thing slowly starts to fade as the life leads it. It stops being superheated. The
brooch back into my lapel and just sort of straighten myself slightly
with one hand.
Yeah, crucially with one hand.
Cool. Victor, what would you like to do? There's still one very visible that hasn't attacked yet. It's moving into the light.
Hasn't attacked yet, but I'm sure it's going to.
Mm-hmm.
I would like. Can I use Divine Strike on my crossbow?
I believe Divine Strike is only on melee weapon attacks, but I'm not 100% sure, so I will check.
I wasn't either, so I thought I would ask.
Fine. That's what this is for. New characters, hoodies. Right, clerics.
It's just listed as weapon attack, but I thought I'd check if that's just melee.
Yeah, I'll check the full rules. It's quick enough to check. Right. Here we go. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack. Yeah, it just says weapon attack, so that counts for your crossbow as well. That's fine.
I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, I would like to attack with the crossbow.
You are shooting past the 3 skeletons and Ash, so it does have partial cover because everything's in a line right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try anyway.
Sure.
Lovely. That is... I'm really sorry.
That one.
Oh no!
I'm real sorry.
No, this is fine. This is perfect. As you level.
I'm sorry to Ashra.
As you level the crossbow and try and balance, because crossbows again are 2-handed weapons, so you've taken your hand off the rope and you're holding your own and balancing. As you shoot to fire, your foot slips, and you fire, and you sort of twist and fire, and you shoot the rope. The rope. Just all the pressure on it is gone and it falls limp, and no one's holding on to it right now, but the rope slips away. Oh, Asher's holding on to it. The ropes. Asher, can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Yeah. Oh, okay. 18. No.
18. You manage to hold your footing as the rope slips away, but as the rope slides away into the darkness beneath you in this screen, as the Remoraz moves up to the second Remoraz is moving up towards Prosperous and Ivy, that's where we need to pick up next time, I'm afraid.
Oh,
combat. My bad. Sorry, everyone.
I'm dreadfully sorry. I'll be giving Dice a stern talking to next time.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for that first adventure. How marvelous. How's everyone doing? All good?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for watching as well. You can join us every Monday evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. British summertime for now, various different times in the US if you're joining us from there, to see what happens next and where we'll go next in our new adventures in the Icewind Dale based on the new D&D books. So thank you, everyone, for joining us again. We have various other shows as Adventurers Wanted that we make not just on the D&D channel but on our own that you can catch at twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. Otherwise, twitch.tv/D&D for lots of great D&D content, and we're here Monday evenings in the UK time. Lovely. Yes, we also have everything that we make is recorded and placed onto YouTube, so you can find us at youtube.com/adventurerswanted. Otherwise, on the socials, we are Adventurers Wanted basically everywhere. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we're Adventurers250 to commemorate the 250-hour campaign we did to launch the company. And on Patreon, we're also Adventurers Wanted if you fancy patronizing us and giving us more money and assistance in doing what we're doing to make us able to make more shows like these for as many people as possible. Speaking
Please
of
don't
that,
pat us.
speaking of which, big thanks to D&D Beyond and Ultra Pro for sponsoring us again for tonight and continuing to do so. Couldn't do what we do without you, so many thanks again. And do check out their wonderful products again. That's dndbeyond.link/adventurerswanted or ultrapro.com. I believe that's basically it from me. Thank you, everyone, for a lovely first foray into the Icewind Dale and for Corrupted. See you for episode 2 next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.